Day.
Yeah, it's blocked now, you
At least you didn't pick your nose or something.
Yeah.
That's
No, I'm
good.
shoveling fucking chips into my mouth because I hadn't had lunch and I was starving.
Careful
I
what
was
you
trying
say
to
now.
do shit. Fucking going live, motherfucker.
Oh, we are already live. The crowd heard all that.
Oh man. Fuck you, Kyle.
Hey, yeah.
Fuck you, Kyle. You got a hand. You die.
Way to go.
As I suspected, 32 flavors.
Try the sauce. I'm soaked in it.
Oh, I could lick you all day long.
No, I don't hate Balboa, but I pity the fool, and I will destroy any man who tries to take what I got.
What?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Toxic Tuesday, and I did start that intentionally with Gerry going off. I'm like, I'm just gonna lick it and then hit countdown. So that was not a mistake, by the way. I
Fucking
did that.
Kyle and Six. Is Six in the chat? Fuck both of y'all.
Not yet. She'll
You
be
guys
here.
fucking with me all the time. It's
You're
my
welcome.
fault. But it's funny as hell. I mean, he put that video out for people to watch me just shoveling chips in my mouth, not knowing I was live for everybody to see. Fuck you guys.
That was awesome.
Going home.
All right, guys. So we have the whole entire Toxic Tuesday crew here with a guest as well, and it is fucking awesome to have the entire crew here. Basically, the band is back together. We basically got the original Slipknot back together, and we're the actual lab. So, anyways, how you doing, Dustin? I fucking missed you, dude.
Oh man, I missed you too. It's been a hell of a month and a half, however fucking long it's been.
The break was necessary. It was necessary. It was.
Yeah, fuck you, Six. I see you.
No, Dustin, glad to have you back. We're gonna roll this one tight. It's gonna be huge. All right, glad to have you back, sir. And of course, that 70s rock fan. How are you?
Hola. Oh, I'm great. This is my weekend, Monday, Tuesday. I've had a great weekend. Great shows. Yes, great show
Was
yesterday.
it a wee weekend? Was it?
Brilliant. Great time. I'm ready to, and this is the film we've all been waiting for. This is the yeah. I'm here with you, muggers, buggerers, bushwhackers, hornswogglers, horse thieves, bull dykes, train robbers, bank robbers, and Methodists.
I didn't mention any Mormons though.
I missed a few there, but I can't memorize them all.
Well, hey, 70s, good to have you here. I saw you a few hours ago, and I saw you yesterday, but I just get to see all of you.
And
all
you
the
were
time.
there yesterday.
Big show yesterday,
there.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
huge.
I'm
It
so
was
sad
fun.
I missed the last show because it was like one of my favorite films too.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, well, we'll do another movie next time, mate, and you'll be there, I'm sure.
You will be there. Oh, yes, you will be
filled
there.
with
And
hope, so.
that's going to be a nice sliding in segue for the return of Gerry
Sliding
from the
in?
pop
Oh my
culture
God.
field. Gerry. How are you, Gerry?
I'm doing okay, you know. I'm now officially the comic guy with the ponytail. Worst show ever. So
That ponytail makes you look like Steven
Anima likes it
Seagal.
with my hair back
You
instead
look
of
like
wearing
Steven
a ball
Seagal
gown.
now.
Yeah, Steven Seagal. Squint the eyes and talk like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Maybe I ought to kill you.
Maybe I'll eat you. Maybe I'll eat you.
I'll fucking eat the whole family. Yeah, it's like, so
Yes, Gerry.
it's good to be here, man. I miss you guys when I'm not around. I'm so glad to be part of this gang.
Well, I'm glad to have you back too, Jobin. It's good to have all the Bro Montanas here on the panel. We basically we got the perfect like circle of dudes around here. So good to have you back. Complete
I'm
the
sorry, they're
circle.
shitting on me in the chat right now. If you're not watching,
Oh, I've seen everything.
I made too many friends with these fucking people. They're just brutal.
All right. Mark D with us,
Hey.
my friend. How are you, sir?
Doing awesome. Yeah, had a pretty it was
been a pretty long layoff, but glad to have all the gang back together. And
and you look even prettier now.
Thank you. Yeah, I
I'm
wore
so glad you're
same
back.
color shirt as you, Gary. We
don't have to do those
coordinated
damn
tonight.
slides now that you're back.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing in the background. If I'm not talking a lot, I'm making the slides safe for humanity right now.
Would you describe that shirt as salmon? Is it salmon?
Salmon, yeah, probably salmon. Yeah, an Ian Anderson Jethro Tull. Yeah.
Do you need a knife for your salmon?
I need a knife. Yeah.
The L is silent, Nick. You can skip saying it.
Yeah. So yeah, this is a dangerous film, but it shouldn't be a dangerous film. But unfortunately, it's heavily censored today. But the whole point of the movie is, like we'll talk about, is to make fun of racists and idiots and things like that. So I mean, we'll get into it, but it's a comedy. But that's some of the great comedies. That's what they do. They poke fun. Could we play that scene for the producers? Springtime for who in Germany. I mean, I don't know if I want to sing it, but I mean, the first time I saw it, with Zero Mostel, I was dying. I'm like, oh my god, I can't put. But those are the great. That's the way to send a message too, right? To make fun of something. So
you guys need to stop fucking making up fake quotes. You and Six. You're so fucking mean to me.
Oh, don't be mean to Gary.
It's
Come
been
on.
a ruthless stream.
No, I don't mind it. It's good. No, it's good. It's good. I don't mind it.
Well, Mark, I'm ready. I'm so glad to have you back, and
glad to be back.
I'm ready for your input, and I'm ready to just be toxic tide. This feels like it's gonna be one for the ages. I can feel the energy amongst us 8 dudes here. It feels
huge energy. Yep.
Huge. We got 38 people in the chat. Can we get a
Awesome.
huge?
I don't say it's big, but it's
Huge.
All right. And of course, the great moderator of YouTube. He is our Richard. Just another Richard. What's up, dude?
Hey, this is going to be fun. This is one of my, 3 or 4 favorite comedies of all time. I actually went to the theater with my dad to see this when it was released.
Yeah.
And I've lost count of the number of times I've seen this movie, and I watched it again this evening after work before coming on here, and it still makes me laugh out loud. This movie is that funny.
It should. Yeah. As it should. Dude. Hey, glad to have you here for this one. So this one's gonna be a big one. So let's get the ball rolling. And of course, the wonderful Ninja Turtle himself, the man who gets around in every way possible, and we love him for it anyway. Mr. Tom Connors.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on around here?
Oh shit! Fancy seeing you.
Lost a perfectly
later.
good card.
Tell him I said ow.
$400. God.
Tell him I said ow. Tell him I said ow. Okay.
Those words are prettier than a $3 whore.
A $20 hooker.
And don't forget, the sheriff is getting nearer.
Oh, yes. Blazing Saddles is a film that, what can I say? There's a lot of films that we consider classics. And people talk about, Wizard of Oz and King Kong, Citizen Kane, Gone with the Wind.
We're not in Kansas anymore with this movie.
No. Especially with
Vince Womack's got a great comment
those
about
Kansas City.
Blazing Saddles could have been subtitled "Gone with the Wind." Really, when you consider it,
it had what was the tagline? I forgot. But anyway, to me, it's still one of those films that's just as important as the Maltese Falcon. Any of those classic films you can drum up, right? There's a top 10 comedies of all time, and Blazing Saddles is right up there at the top, if not the top. Like I talked about Caddyshack the other night. Like those two films are very high up there in my
as they should be
opinion, and I think as cinematic masterpieces. Not only that, but this film is more important to historically what it meant, right? And I'm sure we'll get into a lot of that as we get going along here. But it's hard to believe that this movie came out nearly 50 goddamn years ago.
Yeah, it's crazy. And like you said, we'll get into it. That's Crap, that's weird. I think nearly 50 years old. Like if you had told me 40, I would believe
2024
that.
will be the 50th anniversary. Yeah.
Holy shit. That may have to be a Toxic Tuesday revisited exception. Just saying. All right. Last but not least, our guest on the show tonight is a gentleman I've wanted to have on for quite some time now, and he is absolutely killing it on his own channel. I'll let him do his own introduction.
Yeah, I'm pumped to be here. I'm excited to talk about this movie. I've just watched it. Well, I think this is the first time I've watched it all the way through in one sitting before. And
whoa.
Yeah. I watched bits and pieces of it. I don't think I watched the whole thing before. Maybe I have, but I don't recall. But it's shocking still. Especially the first like 20 minutes is just then you get into the movie and it's fun. But I will say they missed on some easy layup gay jokes that I think they should have dunked on. But otherwise, it's a fun movie. Yeah. I'm excited to be here for it. And this is the one movie I'm guaranteed to get deplatformed for. So it's a good night to be here.
And nobody deserves it more than you.
Thanks, Gary.
You bet.
All right. I'm going to do a quick, nice, swift introduction and acknowledge all the wonderful 40 plus. I'm going to try to be quick and not take everyone's time. Kitty Bear, Vince Womack, Cody Guy. I see Sean Eastep. I see, of course, the mighty red shirt. Gareth Morgan. Magic Poop. What's up, Magic Poop? Hey, let the great meme on Twitter. Shout out to the Legion of Memers. Radioactive. How you doing? Low Spec Linux. Brian Barth. Hello. Dr. Dragon. Boosh McFadden. Arasaka. Philip A. Demick. What's up? D-Bud, of course, we got to acknowledge the great D-Bud Martin. Channel Serve, Chernobyl 6. How are you, 6? Fancy seeing you here a little bit later. Animal Confusa, DJ B2, Nelson the Gentleman, Martin Acosta Santana. Who else am I? Mrs. Flu. How's it going, Mrs. Flu? Nice to see you here. Deleted Scenes. Hello. And we're getting to about Catzilla, Small Time Republic, Snail Messiah. Man, you guys came out here in droves for this one. I love it. Joe's Atmosphere. Hello. Rough Girl, how are you? And I think I got Dave Sutter. How are you, Dave Sutter? Rob Altus. Hello. Nice to see you too. Yes. Okay. And I think that's yep, that looks to be everyone. Thank you all for being Dalton B. How you doing, Dalton? Hello.
Hello, ladies. Hello.
Pop Culture Republic. Don't ask me to be ass serious. Ask you. All right. Woo. That was a speed through of
these things
names.
are defective.
I did it. Freaking did
Why
it.
do you always get a warped one?
Why do I always get a warped one?
All right. So I guess we'll start off with, for me, this was when I was having I guess you could say my gateway into Mel Brooks. I don't recall when I first saw this. I just know when I saw it, I was like taken aback. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck is going on type of thing. But it's freaking funny. I knew it was a comedy. I could feel it was a comedy, but I'm like, holy shit, these people are just free flying with all these things that they were saying. But at right around 20 minutes, I'm like, oh, okay. This movie's onto some shit. It is onto some shit. And there's so many great lines. Like when Headley's like, I, your name. Like endless great lines for years on end. Or my name is Jim, but most people call me Jim. Like so many great lines. Of course, Gene Wilder. I was like, bro, it's the Wonka guy. Like to me, like I didn't even know his name yet when I saw this movie. To me, he was Wonka. Wonka teams up with Bart, and for me,
my daughter's like, sorry to interrupt, but well, no, Dad, why are you watching Willy Wonka? Because she's never seen this movie. Because I was doing all the clips. She's like, I'm like, no, Nicole, this isn't Willy Wonka. Yeah.
No, it's not. And Brian, if John Williams cast as the Waco Kid, it would have been a fit. But I'm glad Gene Wilder got the car. It would have been a good fit, at least in my opinion, unless anyone's got on the panel wants to jump. But I'm glad Gene Wilder got this because he really melded well chemistry-wise with Cleavon as far as he, because I have heard, I don't know for sure, but apparently like the very, very early version, before it was even called like Blazing Saddles, because it went through titles like Purple Sage. I think they even talked about even having James Earl Jones be the character, I think.
Well, they had another actor to play the Waco Kid and started shooting, and he was actually an alcoholic, and he showed up for his first day of filming drunk.
Yeah,
and couldn't remember lines, couldn't hit marks, didn't have the timing, and they fired him and hired Gene Wilder to replace him. And he's been resentful ever since. If he's still around, I don't think he is.
Well, Gene Wilder kind of killed it, man. I mean, especially when you see him being the whole like fastest hands, and he's showing off. He's getting to know Bart, and you see him do this, and then like,
like man, with his hand.
Gene Wilder and Mel Brooks were made for each other. It's just perfect.
And I'm glad you mentioned Mel Brooks 70s. Obviously, when you see Mel Brooks with we'll just say the redhead. I didn't know at the time that was Mel Brooks because obviously it's my gateway. Then I learned later on, like, of course that was Mel Brooks. Of course that was the director of the movie.
He's in the film at least twice.
Yo, I know.
3 times.
And you can, he's one of the bad guys, and he's the Indian chief, at least. Somebody
and
he's
also the mayor too. Don't forget.
And the movie director.
Oh yeah, he was the governor. Yeah, the governor.
And also the music. Also wrote that memorable. That music got stuck in my head. That opening credits song, incredibly.
Well, what's funny about the opening credits song is the guy who sings it. The guy name just escapes me now. Here, let me look here.
Frankie Lane.
Frankie Lane. They didn't tell him that this was a comedy because they were afraid if they told him it was a comedy, he wouldn't sing it straight.
Right.
So they let him to believe it was an actual
blazing.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Well, we covered a movie recently that did perfectly serious, as though it were a disaster film soundtrack, Airplane, and it worked perfectly. And the
Animal House and Ghostbusters are scored the same way too. They're scored like completely earnestly.
Yeah. Yes. And this movie's opening song was setting that tone. It didn't stick through the whole movie. I'm Tired is a little different. But yeah, the other one is, I remember something about Gene Wilder when Mel Brooks approached him to play Bart. I think it was, he said, well, I'm writing this movie I'd love your help with to produce. And I'm calling it Young Frankenstein. So the deal was that he'd play, if I remember it correctly, the deal was that Gene Wilder would play the Waco Kid here in Blazing Saddles.
I think that's
and Mel would help him get Young Frankenstein made.
Okay. Yeah, because Young Frankenstein was more Gene Wilder's movie. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but thank God that pairing came about because we got both of those movies out of it. We got this movie with Young Frankenstein. Which is
of course, the best stuff that Mel Brooks did, he had co-writers on.
Yes.
When he wrote by himself is when things kind of not so great.
Oh,
Richard Pryor is an unsung hero on this.
Well, he was supposed to play the lead.
Sheriff Bart.
But the studio at the last minute got cold feet because they weren't sure if they could trust Pryor to show up with his drug history and all that stuff. Yeah.
Right.
So
but I have to say, Cleavon Little absolutely owned the part of Sheriff Bart.
Is it Cleavon? I always thought it was Cleavon. Is it Cleavon? I thought it was
Cleavon. Yeah, Cleavon almost, at the end of the day, as much as I love Pryor, you almost kind of have to have Cleavon playing the part, right? I think Pryor would have been a bit too abrasive.
Cleavon
and
plays
I think it would have been a bit more I think Pryor's version would have been a tad too mean-spirited, but you can still see echoes of Pryor in Cleavon's performance, right? Especially in the do what he say bit. Like, even though that's written by Mel Brooks, you can see Richard Pryor playing that bit almost verbatim, right? Like, that feels like something Richard Pryor would do. So, like, it was clearly written for Richard, but it sucks because, he didn't get a chance to do it, but Cleavon Little killed it, that's for sure, yeah.
Absolutely. It's probably why the TV series failed Black Bart, because even though I love Louis Gossett Jr., he did not have the comedy chops that were necessary.
Well, it's not just the comedy, the debonair and suaveness. That
suave is the word.
That Cleavon has that Richard didn't. And Richard would have been a bit rougher around the edges, I think, and that's where you needed somebody like Cleavon, or even the other person that I would think that Billy D. Williams could have pulled it off too. I think.
Yes.
Oh, for the TV show, yeah,
Billy D. So. Yeah, I get with that.
And for those of you who didn't know, there was a series that was spun off of Blazing Saddles.
I think it only got a pilot, right?
They got. I think they had a few episodes.
Did they have a few?
I think
no.
More than just pilot.
It was the pilot. It was the pilot.
Just the pilot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because the pilot is on the Blu-ray now. I know that.
Cleavon's charisma is off the charts.
It is interesting. You got some good people in there, good writing, but it didn't have the energy that was required.
Well, Cleavon has to play the romantic lead in it. Really, he's the suave guy, so he's got to be kind of attractive and
that's one of the reasons. I'm not so sure.
He's got to be likable.
Thank
you, Gerry.
What?
Thank you. That was what I was going to say. He is. That's what he had. That at that time, Richard Pryor had
exactly. Yeah.
Richard Pryor wasn't likable. He was in your face as a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean. He'd have been too rough around the edges. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. And so they needed somebody that was slick, but likable.
Yes.
You had to immediately.
And he could pull off the Bugs Bunny bits and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I'm not so sure Richard could have pulled those off with as much panache. I guess is the word I can look for there. But yeah.
Cleavon, I feel like Richard Pryor, I feel like he would definitely have more of a very more, I guess, I won't say dramatic, but his performance probably would feel a little bit more serious. Cleavon, he's made for the humor.
I think Richard also would have had a chip on his shoulder at that time. On top of it, also, I'm sure he would have acted like he had something to prove.
Mm-hmm.
To where Cleavon just comes in and does it so effortlessly, right? It feels like he's just kind of coming in, floating on air, knowing exactly what he's doing, and he's aware of it. He's breaking the fourth wall through the whole movie. We're along with the ride with him as a character and an actor, both, right? Mm-hmm. And the fact that he allows us as the audience to laugh at this stuff. That's the thing. Yeah. You need him there. And I think you're right. If you had Richard there, I think some of the audience would have been afraid to laugh at some of the more racier stuff.
Yeah.
And I think Gene Wilder was so good in this too, because he allowed him to be, or he didn't play it too heavy to the point where he was a perfect sidekick, where he didn't steal the spotlight from Cleavon and let him shine.
No, you're right.
I agree wholeheartedly on that. Yeah.
I think watching this again, seeing Gene Wilder's performance, I think his performance was immaculate. Even his dialogue and everything, but it didn't give Cleavon his time to shine, so he didn't overshadow him, but still was able to deliver, I think, one of the best performances in the movie. But still not overshadow Cleavon. However you do that, I don't know.
Yeah. And I see some people pulling through, like Carl Weathers Bryant pulled out. He could have probably pulled it off, but I think he'd have been a bit too intimidating. And I think that's why Louis Gossett didn't work either, is because Louis it's a bit more intimidating too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Can I give a shout out to one of my favorite supporting characters in the movie? His name was Mongo.
Yes, man.
Yes. One of my favorite lines in the movie is a Mongo line when Gene Wilder's like, "Oh, I think he's getting a little sweet on you," and Mongo goes, "Oh no, I'm straight."
I had to Google it. I thought, isn't that the dad from Webster? And it was the dad from Webster.
Is it really? I did not know that,
Oh,
Zaxx.
yeah,
That's a new bit of trivia I just learned. I never realized that till you just said that.
An amazing football player.
Yeah, football player. His first appearance on screen was in the Paper Lion.
I didn't realize that was the same guy. Holy shit! Now that you say that, though, I totally see it.
Yeah.
Right?
I think he passed away a few years ago.
Yeah,
2012.
And sadly, we lost Cleavon Little back in the 90s from cancer. Kicked his ass.
Yeah.
That's so sad, dude. Yeah, I think who said it? Oh, Gareth in the chat says Cleavon was perfection. It was tragic. And it was because you could see he was leading man material. He freaking owned the role of Bard. You believe he could be a sheriff. You could see he was playing the character like, I'm gonna win this town of people who hate me over. And it's you root for him, and he's so much fun with the energy and the silliness. And I love his character in this movie. Besides, Mongo gets probably maybe first, but of course, Bart gets second.
I do have to say that from being in the UK, we didn't really know who Richard Pryor was at that time anyway, so it didn't make any difference to us watching it in the cinema.
Yeah, and at that time in the US, he still wasn't Richard Pryor.
Yeah, he wasn't.
That's another thing you got to remember. Yeah. He was still the underground comic in a lot of ways. I think at this point he maybe had been in a couple of movies, but like this was still before Richard Pryor was Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor, yeah.
And there's a time, a lot of people don't know he was a big nerd. And he was on Johnny Carson, and Carson asked his favorite
the
thing.
Superman thing? Yeah.
He loves Superman, dude. He was a big
That's how
Superman
he got the role in Superman 3.
Yeah, I know. Right? Isn't that crazy? Because he said that on
Because first he got a phone call, and he's like, first of all, they were yelling at him. They're like, it was one of the Salkinds, I think, and they're like, you gave away the whole plot for Superman on late night television. What the fuck? And he's like, I'm a fan. I'm a big, huge fan. And he's like, what is wrong with you? Well, at that point, they'd already kind of made part 2, but that had kind of a rapport started with him. And he's like, I'd love to be in the next one, though. If you do another one, let me know. And blah, 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 blah. So they called him back for part 3.
Yeah, wasn't Richard Pryor's breakthrough movie Silver Streak with Gene Wilder?
Yes.
I think so, yes. I mean, he had
was
done
in
some
Car
bit
Wash,
parts.
Too.
Yeah, Car Wash, they kind of made a big deal out of it because that was a really small independent film, but yeah.
And what about Toys, too? Was that after? That was after.
The Toy? Oh, no, that was a little later.
That was later,
that was Richard Donner who directed The Toy.
Yes, it was.
Mm-hmm.
The Toy was a pretty big deal when that came out. He was already pretty well established by then.
Actually, for a while, Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder were doing buddy films.
Mm-hmm. Well, they were really good together. They were good friends.
Yeah, they were. And I think Silver Streak was the first one where that really pulled the
Silver Streak was the first one, but this was meant to be their first. Yeah.
Yes, it was meant to be. It just didn't work.
Didn't work out
in the
that
studio.
way.
You're right.
But no, they went on to make Hear No Evil, See No Evil, of course. What's the other one I'm trying to think of?
Hard Time or something?
Stir Crazy.
Stir Crazy. That was it, yeah.
And
Best
finally
Richard Pryor did joke. Tom, do you remember this one?
Another You. What's that?
You remember his joke? He says, he says, we shot that movie in the prison. I got to meet the brothers. I got to meet them. Got to know them. Thank God they got prisons. I asked one motherfucker, why'd you kill everybody in the house? He says, because they was home.
Yes. Yeah, he's telling Gene, we got to get out of here.
Yeah, up to this point, he had done like a bunch of like small bit parts and cameos and stuff. But Car Wash looks like that would have been his big.
That was his big one.
And I think he's also in like
from Champagne.
I mean, he was in Uptown Saturday Night, and he was in a couple other bigger films. But and he had Live and Smoking by that point already too.
Yeah,
it's
so great that they're trying to tell him how black people should be singing.
I don't know. I know white people like that now.
Of course.
Sadly, that's true. Sadly, that's true.
R-rated movie in the US. In the UK, it was a 12. So I could see it.
Wow.
I was 11 when I went to see this, and I got in.
I'm trying to remember. Is there even any F words in it? I just watched it before the show. I don't think there is.
I was 11 when I went to see this.
I saw it at 11 years old.
So did I.
Honestly, it's probably rated R. Probably more rated R at that time for the Lillian von Stoop song and the fart scene more than anything.
Maybe, yeah.
The impact this had on me at 11 years old was incredible.
You were a kid.
Because I was raised by my
mother
dad.
was Dutch.
Yeah. I was raised by my dad by himself, and if he wanted to go to a movie, he had to take me.
Yeah.
So that's why I got to see so many R-rated movies as a kid.
Glorious.
One of them,
absolutely glorious.
Because we were
what ain't exactly water and ain't exactly earth.
I think we were talking about it. I think we were talking about it before the show. I don't think we brought it up on the show, but yeah, I did verify it. Like the original cut of the film, they did not remove any of the N-words and stuff. No. Those all stayed in. But like the fart scene, there was no sound. So all they did is you saw a bunch of guys getting up and down, and there was no sound. That was like the biggest thing cut in the original television cut. But then now flash forward to now, in the more recent cuts, they of course cut out all the N-words, but I believe the last time I saw it on the Family Channel cut was like had still had the fart scene in it.
It's the only thing left in it now.
And they left out and they cut out Shtup, like you guys were pointing out too. They did point that out here. It's her name was cut out. Yeah.
Yes, Clobby, that's true. I remember him on Monday Night Football, man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I really liked them. Yeah. No, did everyone bring their cans of beans for tonight, or eat their beans before the show? That was supposed to be a prerequisite for being on the panel. You were supposed to have your beans.
Mark, I think you've had enough.
Only amateurs need beans, Mark.
It's really tragic that you take when you remove the fart scene for TV, you're removing the first audible fart scene, the first audible, because you've seen scenes where they kind of like say, okay, that character's doing that, but this is the one where you are seeing the shit hitting the fan with all.
I think this is actually not only the first fart joke, but I believe it's the first fart sound we ever heard.
Fart sound.
I'm pretty fucking sure it's the first fart joke too.
They called it the first audible fart sound.
It's because this film, like me, myself, and Irene were firsts for doing things, and you'll see a lot of times they're the ones who are the classics and most beloved films, or films that were the first to really push the envelope. And the fart sound absolutely was the first time it was ever used in a film. And like in Me, Myself, and Irene was the pee joke and calling her my pussy fart. Never done in film before.
Well,
I know who so I said, you know who the mayor's named after too. So that's named after Le Potomain, which was Joseph Kuhal. So he was a guy that was a professional flatulist.
Yeah.
Really?
He was the governor. Le Potomain. Yeah, he would fart songs.
He actually
really?
Yeah, he was famous for.
There's a really good movie about that
abdominal
guy
muscles. Yeah,
Leonard Rossiter playing the part. It's really good.
By the way, he was the governor, not the mayor. We've done that twice.
Yeah.
Who saw the fondling of the statue?
Oh yeah, that's.
Oh yes.
Oh
a statue of Justice, blind Justice, and he's fondling her. God,
so Brian,
like a lawyer.
To answer your question, he stopped doing. I think he stopped doing stuff a while before he died.
He had a degenerative condition.
Yeah, he had stopped a while.
I can't remember if it was Alzheimer's, dementia, or what it was.
He did a few TV movies and some other things and other projects near. And then he just kind of retired at the end there. Yeah.
Well, he actually lived.
He liked doing those myths.
He actually lived very close to where I live, and he would often go to, there was like a independent theater, and he would often do like, if they had a showing of Blazing Saddles or Willy Wonka, it was like a fundraiser, and he would be there and talk. And of course, I have one friend who always runs into famous people, so she would like run like, Mark, I ran into Gene Wilder at the grocery store the other day. It's like on Christmas, because like we were the two Jews that were out on Christmas.
That's funny because he was born in Wisconsin.
So he passed away in Stamford, Connecticut, which is kind of.
They're going to hang the horse here too.
Yeah. It's okay. They're just hanging a man and his horse.
First the wheelchair guy.
Special. Guys, thank you, Hetty. Thank you.
It's Headley.
Headley. Don't worry, it's 1874. You'll be able to sue her.
I love it when he gets out to he sees her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And he looks down and goes,
what's even funnier is Hedy Lamarr actually did try to sue them for what I don't know.
What?
But they settled out of
Howard
court.
Johnson's.
One flavor.
Yes.
Yeah, one flavor. The orange roof on Howard Johnson's outhouse.
I wonder whatever happened to that lawsuit. Did you ever look it up?
They just settled it out of court.
Oh, okay.
They just cut her a check.
Wow.
But we were talking
behind the bar stood Anal Johnson.
Anal Johnson.
He kept everything clean.
He always kept things nice and clean.
Just spitting into the glass.
One of the writers in here was Andrew Bergman, who co-wrote Soap Dish and Fletch as well. So it's got that extra. As you see, Mel Brooks on his own is not so good. He needs collaborators to write. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That guy's a great writer. Yeah.
Well, there's kind of
an
argument to be made for that.
Andrew Bergman, yeah.
Yes, Andrew Bergman. What's your argument then, Tom?
There's a lot of film critics and historians who agree with that take as much as Mel Brooks gets credit for everything he did.
Yeah.
most of the successes he had were with other people. Like his biggest flops
Picking the right collaborators
are the ones that he was the only writer and shit, like Dracula Dead and Loving It,
Dracula
Life Stinks, and
what
shit
was it?
like
Life
that.
Stinks
Yeah.
was terrible. But the thing is he's a great idea guy. He really is.
That sounds like a George Lucas type of thing.
It is.
If you think about it, he's a George Lucas in a way. He works when he's got people controlling.
Well, like he
helping
lost
him out.
Gene after whatchamacallit, and a
This
few
is
other
Gary's
people.
only part in a movie ever.
I'm trying to remember his other writing partner he had up until I think Spaceballs was the last movie they made, and then he passed away afterwards.
Well, he also worked closely with Dom DeLuise and even Marty Feldman, like on Silent Movie.
Maybe it was Marty Feldman I'm trying to think of, but I think
Marty
Marty died before
collaborators-
Spaceballs, though.
Yes.
Picking the right collaborators is a good skill too. Though,
He was killed by the same thing that killed John Candy.
Being fat?
No, the air in Mexico. They were
Canadian?
shooting in Mexico.
Being Canadian. Yeah, too much bacon.
No, they were
too much
they were
syrup on
too
your
high.
bacon.
The elevation was too high, and they weren't getting enough air, and it caused their hearts to get overworked. He had, Marty had COPD, and
Cattle
he
rape.
was just
Is this
fat.
Scotland?
Do you guys know why Hedy Lamarr? Why was that reference? Like, why that joke?
Well, she's a famous, film
Was she in a little
actress,
film?
and she actually had, and she actually has some patents, I think, on that. She was a really smart lady, and
Yeah, she made a lot of money.
and
out
she
of
had,
it.
she had a patent
She was
on
an electrical engineer.
Yeah, so she had a patent on that's used today on the internet for encryption, and it was devised,
Really?
devised.
Oh,
during
she
the
was
War
by
because
the
of that,
Navy.
she
Yeah.
did
It was
have her
also
name.
used by the Navy.
She
The Navy
developed-
bought it.
She
Wow.
developed
Yep.
a system for frequency skipping based
Authentic.
on a player
It's exactly
piano's
what it is. Frequency
paper.
skipping.
Yes.
Huh.
Maybe
And it's
because
still
of that,
used
she
today.
had some.
It led to
copyright on her name, or-
GPS
Yes.
directly.
And it couldn't be, by the way, it couldn't be implemented when she patented it. The technology didn't exist.
Yeah,
But
well,
it
the
does
Navy
now.
scoffed at her when she and her partner, I think it was
Oh,
her
yeah.
husband, went to them, and but later they fucking bought it.
Yep.
Yep. No, she was
So
a
it
brilliant
was
lady, but I think it was
beautiful
just,
and
it was
brilliant,
just it was just a cute play on a name from the future that they could play for his character and make it a running gag.
Right.
I don't
And she
think
was
it
much-
had anything to do with Hedy Lamarr personally. I think it was just, we'll call you Hedley Lamarr, and then everybody can mistake you for her, and you can get all bent out of shape about it.
And she was much more famous back then, obviously, too. when
Yes,
this movie
right.
came out.
She
So
was.
now, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
seemed
a
obscure in the first
historical
bit.
reference type of joke. It's definitely so you
Right.
gotta
Just
be
where it's-
knowledgeable
Oh,
of
yeah.
for
Anybody,
the
but-
full context.
Yeah, I will now read from the books of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and Duck.
And then the toxicity started to arise.
Oh, it goes
Yep.
way up here.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to know some possible previous titles before Blazing Saddles was settled?
What
on?
was
Yeah,
it? That
yeah.
was Purple
Go on.
Sage. And I know
Purple Sage was one of them. Tex
Yeah.
X was another one, like Malcolm X. Black
wasn't there, like,
Bart
a
was, of
sex
course,
one?
another.
Wasn't there like a sex one or something like that?
I don't know that. I mean, unless you're thinking
something?
of Tex X.
I could be
um,
mixing with that. Black
yeah.
Bart.
Look at
yeah,
that
you're
rack
right.
over there behind
But
him.
No.
Brooks says he
Yeah.
thought
Oh,
of Brooks says he thought of the title in the
600
shower,
faked.
popped his head out, and told his wife Anne, who liked the idea, and that's how it ended up being the movie title.
I'm not surprised. Anne was a sharp lady, man.
Anne Bancroft,
He
of
was.
course. For those who
Yeah.
don't know who we're talking about, but yeah, the late great.
She
When
made an
he's trying
appearance
to
in
get his
Silent
pen-
Movie. Did you know that?
I don't know
Yeah.
if D-Bud is looking or D-Bud's trying to do an emoji of a certain thing. You
I
guys
think he's
decide.
looking.
Hello, boys.
Oh, there's the emoji right there. When Mel is trying to get his pen
Yeah.
back in the inkwell, and he's going, "Help me out with this. Help me in with this. Help me in with this." He goes, "Think if
Yeah.
it's necessary." Wham! It goes in. I actually had a friend on his sailboat trying to get a spinnaker pole into the socket. It fits on the deck. And he's waving this 12-foot pole around. It's not going in. It's not going in. It's not going in. And I said, "Think of your secretary." And
This
when
all
it went
sounds
in,
wrong.
and he almost fell overboard.
You know, Red Shirt, all your
Hello,
phrasing around
girls.
that sounded very wrong with all your phrasing. Just-
Oh, hey, Gareth Morgan said something there, Nick. You might want to check
Let me
it out.
highlight it. Musical
Yeah,
Annie.
the first one up above. Up above.
Okay. Sorry.
Ronnie Graham
was
a longtime collaborator with him.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I couldn't
Thomas
think of.
Sleehan. That's it. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
Here's another bit of fun trivia.
Ooh.
Slim Pickens stayed on location for the entire shoot in his RV. He would sit out front he would sit out front in the evenings with a campfire and his Winchester rifle.
That's nice.
That explains why he's so redneck.
old
He
school
really
cowboy,
nails
man.
that. He nails the redneck cowboy role so well.
He's like,
there.
shit, this
He
is
was a
like
cowboy.
camping, boys.
So
You know
he
how
must have.
Kubrick
I wonder if
found
he
him?
kept his voice while he was on, like even like when they were not shooting.
We
scenes, he
coming
probably
into
maintained
town.
the voice.
A whomping and a whomping.
He was a rodeo boy. He grew up
Yeah.
in the rodeo.
He looks like a rodeo boy.
Slim Pickens
look
is
at him.
amazing.
He looks
Yeah,
like the type of
great.
guy that would
Discovered by
ride on a
Stanley
raging bull.
Kubrick, man. Stanley Kubrick.
Well, he was like that connection, right? He was the connection to the old westerns because he was in a shit ton of them.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he had kind of done that comedy turn with Kubrick and
Exactly. That's where it changed for him.
Dr.
Strangelove.
Strangelove. And then having him cast here was just inspired, right? Like, because he adds so much authenticity to the film.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he was a real
Someone want me
cowboy,
to-
wasn't he?
Someone wanted me to pause right here for a second. Who was that? Just kidding.
Yeah,
It's just
we all
the
know why you're
expression,
pausing, Mark.
Oh wait, my computer froze. My computer froze. Sorry.
Why do I always get a warped one?
Haven't you got a zoom?
Now, I don't
function
know
on this
about
thing?
you
It's
guys,
defective.
but when we had those things as kids, and I'm not talking about our boobs, I'm talking about the paddles. I got to tell you, we broke those paddles. If your rubber band broke, you broke the paddle.
Yeah.
Those things were used as weapons by parents.
This is the first breaking of the fourth wall, really. He looks
Right
right
here,
in the
yep.
camera and says, where would I
Why
find
am I
such a
asking
man?
you?
Why am I
Well, and
asking
of course,
you?
we haven't even mentioned Harvey Korman here yet, who was a comic genius as well.
He
Oh,
was.
very funny guy. Yeah.
Yeah, his work in this and in High Anxiety, which is another great song by Mel Brooks. Just brilliant in both these films.
Look at this.
Well, he did such
He
great
swallowed his,
TV
he
work,
swallowed
was
his
it,
candy.
Carol
He inhaled
Burnett
his
show.
candy.
If you
Oh,
see
yeah,
the
him
old
and Tim
Carol
Conway.
Burnett shows. They
Oh,
were
yes.
so
Affairs
funny.
of state must take precedence over affairs
Oh,
of
Affairs of
I,
state.
I love when he goes.
He
to
unzips his pants and drops.
I love when he goes to grab the governor. I'm sorry, he first grabs Bart, and he's about to say. Then he realizes, oh crap, that's not Bart. I gotta grab the governor. And he,
Yes.
and he goes.
Have you lost your mind? Are you not aware that this man is a neck? Oh, sorry, wrong guy.
Coming up.
Hold it.
and then he says, here, and this, so it goes to the secretary. He's like, throw something on and stay in that position. You know?
Well, speaking of the N-word, when asked later about the frequent use of it in the script, Brooks said that he received constant support for its use from Richard Pryor and Cleavon Little. He then added that if the film were remade today, that controversial word would have to be omitted, and then you have no movie. After the film's release, he said he received many letters of complaint about the frequent use, but most of those, of course, came from white people.
Imagine my shock.
And then earlier this year, guess what movie came out? A remake of Blazing Saddles. It was that cat animated cartoon movie. What the fuck was it called?
Oh yeah, I was reading about that. I can't. Was it
Yeah.
like a samurai. They were going to call it
The Samurai
something
Cat movie.
Samurai Cat. Yeah, they're going to call it like Blazing
I've never-
Samurais or something. Or,
Yeah, it came out already and it flopped. But yeah, that is
Yeah.
technically a remake of Blazing Saddles.
because Brooks was involved with that, or they had used his voice.
They
or
did
something.
change a bunch of shit, but yeah, it started
Yeah.
life and still technically is a remake. Yeah.
So Mel Brooks had the
also-
first
you
N-word
know,
pass then.
There's one person we left out was Alan Uger, who's a film producer and screenwriter. He also co-wrote the script, and he was one of the unknown black producers in Hollywood back when nobody knew that there were black men working in Hollywood as producers. And he was also a big supporter of using the language.
Yes. Sorry, I was just answering the secretary.
Again?
I wasn't sure if you're talking about yes towards the imagery or
Yeah.
Because I definitely say yes.
Yeah.
Gucci.
Okay, anachronism. We got Sheriff Bart with a Gucci saddlebag going past Count Basie's actual orchestra.
I know. That's a funny bit.
Out in the middle of nowhere.
He's looking sharp.
Oh, he is. He's got that 7th Avenue outfit on.
Yep.
On. Oh man. Yeah, you couldn't
All
buy
right.
that at Abercrombie and Fitch.
Well, since we just had our another great quote, where
are all the white women at?
From your Muslim uncle for $1.99. Thank you for the $1.99, sir. Happy
He
to
is
see you
our
here.
Muslim uncle now.
He is. Thank you for being here, Muslim uncle. We appreciate you. Thank you.
He's a great guy.
I laughed so hard when you see a Bart coming up on his horse and you see a whole score of a performance going on at random. I was like, what the fuck? That was that scene. That was it for me. That was when it was like, I knew it was a comedy, but that was like, okay, yep, this is definitely supposed to be that type of comedy. I knew right then and there. And I love when the bum, I call him the bum, and he's like, look, there's a boom, the bell happens.
The sheriff is nearer.
Yeah. The sheriff's
The sheriff is near.
Can't hear you.
Yeah.
No dang friggin' nabbit. The sheriff is a Nick Bong.
You know, this stuff kind of reminds me of a Dave Chappelle skit. I don't know if Dave Chappelle took influence from Blazing Saddles, but that scene where he dressed up as, we'll just say the hooded guy. And, obviously when he unmasked himself at the place.
Are you talking about Clayton Bigsby?
Was that what it was called? The Chappelle skit?
Where he's the blind black guy who doesn't realize he's black and
he's
he
like,
hates black people.
I seen the light. That was,
white power.
White
power.
That was
it's also a huge influence to I'm Gonna Get You Sucker by the Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you sucker, man.
Well, here's something I found out here I didn't realize. I mean, I knew some of this, obviously. This is part of what we were talking about before. The role of Bart, of course, was intended for Richard Pryor. But between his controversial stand-up and reputation, which we had brought up already, he wasn't able to secure financing for the project and just became a co-writer. However, in a 2013 interview with Gene Wilder, he said that the casting result was because Pryor contacted Brooks via telephone during production, informing him that he was in Cleveland and didn't know why.
What?
Oh, that's awesome. Something new has been added.
That sounds like something John Belushi would do.
It does. It sounds like John. Yes.
Well, he did, right? He would go. He was filming. Which movie was he filming? And
Blues Brothers.
They had him on somebody's sofa.
Yeah. But he woke up in someone's house and then.
I think that was either. No, that was Blue. It was either, that may have been, but also during Blues Brothers, they couldn't find him.
Yeah.
And he had went into somebody's house in the Chicago suburb.
Sleep on their sofa.
He knocked on their door and he goes, "You know who I am?" The guy's like, "Yeah." He goes, "Can I have a sandwich?" And he's like, "Sure." So he's like, you got John Landis, Dan Aykroyd, Carrie Fisher, everybody just looking all over hell for John. They're literally going door to door at this point.
Chicago, yeah.
And they finally found him and they're like, "Yeah, he's here." He's like, "He's here." He's like, "Yeah, he's sleeping on the couch."
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, let me whip this thing out.
So the guy said he just came in, made a sandwich, ate the sandwich, put it in the sink, the plate in the sink, went and took his shoes off, laid down on the couch and passed out.
By the way, the reaction to the line is almost as funny as the line. He goes, "Pardon me while I whip this out." All the women scream and then go, "Oh,
oh, it's fine. Everything's fine." I like how the roll says "Welcome, Sheriff" rolls up and he just brings it right back down.
Yep.
He saw that.
And as soon as he says William J. Lepetta, Maine, they all point guns at him.
Yeah.
Oh damn. Oh no!
I'm in Cleveland and I don't know why.
And then this scene coming up too.
This is some of the best comedy right here ever.
Yes.
This is actually based on something Mel Brooks did when he was a kid. He got busted stealing gum and a squirt gun from a drugstore, and somehow managed to get out of it by making the drugstore clerk that the gun he just stole was real. So he basically was an armed robber as a kid.
Oh, damn. All right.
So he's like, "Holy shit, I can't believe that worked."
Right.
The guns are all getting
Catzilla for $4.99. Thank you, Catzilla. They start with Byron and Shelley and jump on your belly and bust your balloons. Oh, there's a lady. So
isn't anybody
always come too soon?
I know who that is. That's
from the Big Lebowski.
That's Dom DeLuise's wife, actually.
All right,
that role. Yep.
I got to tell you, it's one of the best things with this kind of comedy is how serious everybody is. That sells the comedy.
Much like Airplane. You
much like Airplane.
You need to have that airplane. Oh, sorry, not airplane vibe, but just the dramatic vibe. You film it like you're filming a drama, but you insert funny parts. But you got the ideas to be serious. Oh, absolutely.
And the comedy often comes from their reaction being so sincere. You know,
hush, Harriet. You're gonna get him killed.
You're gonna get him killed. Yeah, right.
Oh, baby, you are so talented. And they are so stupid.
Or is it dumb or stupid? Yeah. One or the other.
Let's see.
That's coming up.
Let's see.
Here you go. I love either way. I had a big chuckle. I was like, ah. And that's of course where there you go. You're right. There's dumb. Is this where he meets Jim? This is where he meets Jim, aka Willy Wonka.
Well, this is also that's a Bugs Bunny moment too. If you didn't catch it, talking to the camera that way.
Oh yeah.
He's such a maroon. You know.
What a maroon.
Well, he even does the whole Mongo Candygram thing later on. It even has the Looney Tunes fucking theme.
Yeah, you're right.
They played the merry-go-round broke down, the Warner Brothers cartoon theme.
Yep.
Look at that.
So what are we going to do about this new sheriff?
And look at all the names. Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson.
Everybody's Johnson.
Everyone's got a Johnson there.
Everybody is a Johnson there.
That's true. It is. Well, no,
that would be echoed later by what am I surrounded by a bunch of assholes?
You all just say we're more of a Johnson fest in this panel than they are in that room. To be very fair.
Anal Johnson.
I mean,
are we awake?
Like how
I don't know.
Jim is upside down.
Are we black?
Yes, we are.
Then we're very confused, but we're awake. Do you need some help? All that I can get.
I can get.
My name is Jim. But most people call me
Jim.
Well, yeah, you know, based on what he tells him later, he's going to tell him most people call me the Waco Kid. And then he realizes I'm not the Waco Kid anymore. So he has to say Jim. He was going to say most people call me the Waco Kid, but he has to pause and think and go, oh, no, I can't say that anymore.
I turned to see a 12-year-old boy.
And he shot me in the ass.
Turned around,
me in the ass,
and walked away. Little bastard shot me in the ass. So I went and crawled into the bottom of a whiskey bottle, and I've been there ever since. A man that drink like that is going to die. When?
You need to eat. I don't. Yeah. What he says, something like he like eating.
Man who drinks like that doesn't eat without eating. Doesn't eat is gonna die.
When?
Nick, send him some pizza.
Yes. I'd love to.
The other best part is you see this hand. Yeah, steady as an arrow. Well, I shoot with this one.
Have at Tom. Do it again.
You see this hand? Yep, straight as an arrow. Well, I shoot with this one.
Yep. Oh, dude. Let's play chess. Oh, because what do you like to do? Chess? Oh, I like to screw. Chess and screw. He's like, well, let's play chess.
Let's play screw.
Oh, damn. Hey, what's up, Eric K? Nice to see you here.
Hey, Eric.
No, it wasn't
Eric K.
Waco Kid. Guys,
yes, the Waco.
What's funny is that in a couple years after this, doesn't Gene make a Western with Harrison Ford?
Yeah, Frisco Kid.
Yeah, Frisco Kid.
Yeah.
Leads to one of the funniest scenes where he refuses to ride a horse until the sun sets because of the Sabbath.
I do. I must. I must be called the Waco Kid. Shows off all his moves. Oh, I remember this tripped me out when you see him take the chess piece. I'm like, bro. Yes. Because he didn't flinch. I remember because
this is just making fun of all those scenes in all the old westerns.
Oh, of course,
right?
it is. But for me, I was like, I didn't catch onto that part at the time. So this is where my blonde moment was showing when I'd seen this some minutes ago. I straight up slowed this shit down just to see if I somehow missed it.
No, that's a joke.
later in life. Probably around, it was probably late teenage years when I realized, that was just to show up the ridiculousness. So
because they usually have one of these scenes where the broke down old drunken gunfighter would have to prove who he is, by showing how fast he still can be, and that's all it is.
You couldn't see that, Nick? I could see it.
So well in this.
Don't you die, Mark. I'm just being truthful about my blonde moments.
Oh, look right there! Did you see his arm move? No.
Don't you don't you dare, Mark. You son of a bitch.
I saw it right there. Yeah.
No, you didn't. No.
This is the warning sign there. Lick the fingers and blow on them.
And then he's
so happy with himself, except he doesn't have a chess piece in his hands.
Right.
You'd think he'd know.
I noticed that too. As he did it, like there's no piece that goes up in his hand. I'm like, dude, he didn't end up having a piece in his hand. They stopped the damn scene.
You think you caught that fly, but it's not there.
That made it work though. He played it all the way through. I think that's what made the scene work and why it made it more funny that he carried it all the way through.
Well, it's one of the few times Cleavon gets one up on him, right? Like other times he's the one who's always getting one up on everybody else. So
that's right.
Right.
That's why they're so friendly together too. That's why that works too, because they're they got that great. You can see what kind of buddies they are, and it's making fun of all the racial stereotypes. Back then, and they're making fun of the people in the town and what morons they are. And I mean, if you just watch this movie.
By the way, that extension of the line, salt of the earth, the clay, the new clay of the or whatever the clay of the new west, and he goes, morons. And Cleavon Little cracks up. Morons was an ad lib.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was an ad lib. Yeah,
yeah.
So that's a genuine crack up.
Yeah, and it caused Cleavon to legitimately crack up, and they kept it in.
Well, of course you've got Cleavon, and then you've got Gene, who's Jewish too. So there's that part of it too. So
Mark, you mentioned earlier, and I want to bounce off of that because a statement. Mel Brooks was always asked about why he always had Yahtzees around in his flicks, and he said it was obviously that they're evil, of course. And the best way to defeat evil is to laugh at it. Whole point of the freaking movie is to laugh at the ridiculousness of it all. So just legendary quote from the Brooks. That's all.
The man wrote "Springtime for Hitler" for fuck's sake.
Yeah. And if you tried to play that today, I mean, could you imagine? And people don't realize, the satire, because everyone's so wound up these days that they can't see the intelligence and the meaning behind it. So they're making fun of all these people who are racist and bigots and idiots, and they're doing it through comedy, and they're not pounding you over the head with the message, so it's subtle, but you're getting the message, and you see what how brilliant it is. And that's why
I love
satire.
I
gotta say this. I have shown this movie to two people considerably younger than I am. And in both cases, for them not to be offended by it, I had to explain that if you watch the movie, pay attention to the characters and the racism. The more racist the character is, the more stupid they are.
Yeah.
And the smarter the character is, the less racist they are. Now, watch for that. And they do, and then they come off the movie going, oh, they're saying only stupid people are racist. I said, congratulations, you got the message.
You freaking got the point of Blazing Saddles. Whereas we have we love to laugh at the white people who are dumb and being racist in the movie, and we're rooting for Cleavon Little's character. We're rooting for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's funny, like there's a scene where he's like the guy's gonna like hurt them, and he's like, "What are you, crazy?" But they don't even translate it. Because he was like something about Meshuggah. So
yes, don't be crazy, basically in Yiddish.
Yeah.
Has Gesehen died a Laden is? Have you ever seen?
He's talking a bunch of Yiddish here. Is what's hilarious.
Yes, it's all Yiddish. Schwarzes. It's okay. Go ahead. And then has Gesehen died a Laden?
And I was older before I realized what they were doing there in that scene, smoking.
Here we go.
You didn't realize
the bean scene.
All right,
everyone go get their beans.
Not only do you all go get your bean, all 56 plus of you in the chat, thank you for being here. But this is not just memorable for having a fart scene, but it was the first audible. That's the term that they use. Audible fart scene.
Well, yeah, you got to
It's
remember it was
cinematic
only
history.
5 years before this we had the first toilet ever in a film.
That's so
Right.
weird.
Wow.
That the first toilet
With
was
Psycho.
Yeah. Norman, it's like, why is it such a weird thing? Like, we can't show
Because
a
they just
toilet in a
wouldn't. That's what I
movie.
was trying to say. It just shows you how far we've gone. You know, it's like you can say the N word, you can do all these other things, but God forbid you show a toilet.
Even
God forbid
toilets
you
had
show
progress.
farting or hear farting or
This
whatever.
wasn't
you
even
know.
incidental farting. It was the main point of the whole.
Well,
skit.
that was They were like, "How far can we get away with this?" And
How
that was the
far can
hilarious
we
part
go?
too. Is Mel Brooks got tons and tons and tons of notes constantly, right? Like, but the one thing that was great about it was he'd just sit there and he would listen to the executives and tell them, "Sure, yeah, whatever you want," but it didn't matter because he got final cut. So anything they asked him for, he didn't have to adhere to it.
So
The
how
only time-
far are we on this? This movie was the movie code that ended sometime in the 60s? The Hays Code.
This would have been in the
Yeah, the
flip
Hays
over
Code,
side of it
60s.
because this was an officially rated R film,
No.
and by this point they had the G, PG, and R rating.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so it would have been the typical the MPA ratings we're used to today. PG-13 just hadn't been enlisted yet.
Mm-hmm.
Smell the glove.
Right.
Smell the glove.
And my favorite character from the movie, Mongo.
There we go.
Glove.
I remember,
Smell the
like, when I first saw him, like, who's this big evil guy who's freaking punching horses and shit? But then as you see him get his redemption throughout the movie, like, oh, actually, this guy's really cool and funny. I like this Mongo guy.
At that
like
time,
Mongo.
they had X instead of NC-17 though, but they changed that in the 90s because they got too much confusion between triple X and X. So
Yeah, Showgirls. Was Showgirls X or was that NC?
that's technically an
NC-17?
I think that was the
NC
first one of the first NC-17 rated movies. Yeah.
It was like a White Oleander movie or something like that. That was one of the first.
That was the first or Bad Lieutenant. I can't remember which, but yeah,
Last
that actually had the
Tango. What was-
NC-17 moniker instead of the X. But yeah,
What was Last Tango in Paris?
I think that would have technically have been an X back in the
That
day.
was
was
X.
rated
That was,
X.
that was an X.
was-
But it would be considered an NC-17 now because of the change.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Hey.
by God,
Oh.
when you find out in that film that Marlon Brando used butter and actually did rape her
Mm-hmm.
anally, it's like, oh my fucking God. Have you seen the documentary on that?
I've heard about it, but I haven't seen the doc.
It's rough, dude. It is rough.
Yeah, she was a very young actress too. Not to get off on it. I think it was her first role, or
Yeah.
So
So there's a great bit here that Gene Wilder does when he takes it. He says, "Listen, Bart, I want you to do me a favor."
Because
Yeah, I
they're
thought that was a
smoking weed.
cigarette
Yeah.
as a kid. I didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
I was
Henry
older
and
than
June
like,
was
oh my
actually the
God.
first NC-17 or X-rated or whatever, or is that NC-17 one? But yeah, or whichever.
What?
But anyhow,
Oh, this is
The
I got
And this
people
one-
feeding me stuff in the background too. Sorry.
good morning.
No,
man.
no, you're
the
good,
stunt
dude.
horses surprised me in this because you haven't seen that in a long time. It's the horse is actually doing these stunts, not the exploding stunts, obviously, but
And not the one
Oh,
pushed
this
over
lovely
backwards.
lady.
And isn't it a lovely
Cars.
Now I'm going to point something out to you guys. In the scene when Mongo punches,
Mhm.
I think it was the horse. The
was.
stunt horse head turns the wrong way. And it was something
Oh,
my dad
really?
pointed out to me
Hold
in the
on,
theater.
What? I did
That-
not notice that.
My dad pointed out, and I'm like, "Oh my God, it did!" But
At least
you
it's
know,
still trained. It doesn't matter.
it's still trained, and it fell.
yeah, Zaxx is right. Yeah, those are some amazing, stunts, and the horses are falling down.
Right.
It's hard to
Fucking
teach a horse, I
Yeah.
imagine.
Ride the fucking ox.
That's
Mongo
actually
Jim.
that.
Hey, where are the white women at?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love how
Yeah. Yes,
yes
no.
and no.
Yes, no for passing.
Oh man. And of course, how Bart handles freaking Mongo is absolutely just that scene for me is a 10 out of 10. The fact that you think he's gonna go in for a gunfight because that's normally what a
He
sheriff
uses
does.
brains. Yeah.
And then, Jim's just like, bro, no. You don't want to do that. And you see him come in with a lot more creativity and turns into that magical Looney Tune scene with obviously with the music included. You're like, dude, absolutely freaking, there are times where I laugh so hard for that scene. Like obviously, you'd see me break down the way I did.
The way he fell is what was wrong. That was it. The fall
still works for me.
I love the scene.
I think so.
I didn't even see him mess up with that scene. I still don't.
No, it's
see it.
the way it fell. It was the way it fell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it should have fallen the other way.
It fell towards the punch. Rather than
Mongo was actually a character that Richard Pryor came up with.
Really?
Yep.
You know, that makes a lot of sense. So we're as you're mentioning, Tom, about all the things Richard Pryor came up with. That shows you how essential he was to Mel Brooks's career.
Oh yeah, you can tell a lot of the lines are his.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is Mongo's intro to the sheriff, and he says, "Who's this Mongo?" And I love the way Wilder delivers the line. He says, "Well, Mongo's not really a who. He's more of a what."
yeah. You're right. Oh, damn. I mean, the sheriff's going. He says like, "Hey guys, hold up, wait." He realized he's got to correct this because he was going to call him like an idiot. I do last hour because as you see Mongo shoving all those guys at the piano, there's the one guy just sitting there on the table like it's nobody's business. He doesn't care that Mongo's crushing a bunch of dudes at the piano. The one guy's there just minding his own business. And out comes Bart with a nice suit on. See, I don't see Pryor doing this. This scene doesn't look like a Richard Pryor. Now I think about it, like Cleavon, he not just rocks a suit, but just the hilarious gestures he makes with his face. That doesn't seem like it suits Pryor. Like this whole thing doesn't. I don't feel the Looney Tunes vibe off of Pryor the way I do Cleavon. Cleavon almost feels like a Looney Tunes character in this scene. Like if you told me he's a Looney Tunes character and this was not Blazing Saddles, like dude, this is such a Looney scene. Like this is some like obviously Bugs would done to play.
Well, it's kind of like the whole movie's almost like a Looney Tunes episode. It'd be like
it is.
They made Bugs Bunny a fucking sheriff, right?
Yes.
The sheriff's a rabbit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And Gene Wilder's just basically Porky Pig.
Crap. Never thought of that, Tom, like that. Shite.
Because Porky did play a similar role when him and Daffy would do the westerns.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Mongo is kind of basically Taz, the Tasmanian.
Well, he's actually, if you go and look at those western cartoons with Daffy and Porky, there's a bad guy that looks just like fucking Mongo.
Yeah. Oh, God, what's his name?
You're right. I remember.
I can't remember his name, but he's like this big brutish guy.
Big mustache. Yeah,
Nasty Canasta is his name.
Nasty Canasta. Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
what a name.
Drink.
Seriously. Oh,
so
God.
you can tell Richard probably got it all from that. Like he was inspired by the Looney Tunes and shit by that.
Oh, I agree.
Dude, one of the greatest lines ever that had me dying right here. God darn it, Mr. Lamar, use your tongue prettier than a $20 horror.
Yep. It just looks like,
where's my froggy?
Yeah, you see him freaking fondle his balls in the water.
Yes. And he gives him the look.
This is something I never knew before. Robert Ridley's medieval hangman returned in Mel Brooks' Men in Tights.
Yeah.
I did not know that was. I didn't even realize that because of course I've only seen Men in. He plays the same character.
He also has the same lisp.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's playing the same. I did not realize that until I haven't seen Men in Tights in like 20 years. Like that was never one of my favorite ones of his. I mean, I like the song, but that's about it.
Yeah, I think the funniest joke in there was when he says, I'm the only Robin Hood with an English accent.
I was gonna say the best parts are in the trailer, right? Like it's kind of it works best as a trailer making fun of the other Robin Hood trailer, basically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Him reaching into those.
I was waiting for the "While you're down there" joke, but nothing. He just played it straight. Well, quote unquote straight.
Look at that. Look at it. Yeah. If we're getting grabbed by the balls and he goes for the freaking froggy.
Where's my froggy?
Daddy loves froggy. Froggy loves daddy.
Oh damn. Oh, we got a direct donation.
Where the white women at?
Got decked by Thanos. We got RC from the NYC. How are you, sir? With $10. And what's up, Nick? What's up, panel? What's up, chat? Hope everyone is well, and I hope you are better, RC. And it is true, Mongo like candy. Thank you, RC, for the $10. I appreciate the message. Thank you. Sorry about the up here. She brings up the pie. And but we didn't talk, or it was this whole spiel didn't happen. I like how she's, even though she's being thankful, she still has to hide it. But I love how Jim, he's just like, soon one day you'll be able to shake hands in public, like,
right?
Yeah.
I'm becoming an underground popular. I don't know what it was, underground something in this town.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You'd be able to shake their hands in broad daylight, and then she knocks on the window again. Yeah, I'm sure you'll have the good taste not to mention that we spoke. Of course. And he says, of course, and then just closes the window again.
Oh my God. Madeline Kahn.
Oh, the great
gorgeous
Madeline Kahn.
Stoop.
She was so sexy.
Stoop. We got to get it right. Stoop. It almost sounds like some Sean Connery chick. Stoop.
Lily Von Stoop to your level.
Well, it's true. I don't speak German.
Jerry. Lily Von Stoop.
Wow, I didn't.
What, Tom?
This is a bit of trivia I didn't know.
Ooh, lay it on us.
Even though the U.S. in this part I knew well. Even though the U.S. movie schedule release used to be less structured around saving major budgeted releases for summer, either May or June through August or December, it's still actually, at this point, the summer season wasn't even a big deal yet. That wasn't until Jaws. This movie was released in February of 1974, which usually would state that the studio didn't have much faith in it. It still persists today that that's a bad month to drop a movie. Films released in either February, April, or October were ones that the studio had limited confidence in.
January, too. January.
Yeah, fuck you, it's January. This movie remains the last U.S. film to be released in February and finished as the year's #1 film in box office receipts until Black Panther. Thank you, Sadie. Black Panther 2018.
Oh, that also like you're getting a drum roll going.
She thought somebody's knocking at the door.
Can I add a little bit of trivia on top of that, Tom?
Sure.
One of the biggest selling horror films of its time was released on Valentine's Day. It was Dracula.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was, because they were actually promoting it as a romance.
Strangest love story.
Yeah, because they were promoting it as more of a romance. That's right. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
That's nuts. Yeah.
The more you know.
Yeah. And knowing is half.
Isn't it poignant though that Black Panther was the next movie to do that?
It just
goes to show that when they released it, they didn't think it was going to do anything.
Well, yeah, the studio had no faith in it. In fact, they were planning on shelving it until Mel Brooks pulled in a bunch of employees at Warner Brothers and showed the brass the film with the employees, and they laughed their asses off.
Because the first screening they didn't get it, right, Tom? If that's
I think it was more they were just afraid of it, right? You got to remember, at this time, this was a movie that nobody had done anything like this before.
Okay,
right?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, at this point, probably the only movie that had come out that really took racism seriously was probably In the Heat of the Night.
Okay.
Which was what, like 3 years before this, maybe?
Mr. Tibbs.
Which was the sequel, exactly. But yeah,
I thought it was just a lack of understanding from the original test audiences. From what I heard, is just that they didn't get it. Like it was kind of like when the people who were involved with also with Airplane. Like,
well, you got to remember, Mel Brooks wasn't Mel Brooks yet, really either. I mean, he'd only done a couple of things. This was the movie that put him on the map.
D. Bud Martin, you're correct. It's called Stooping.
I mean, he had done The Producers before this, which had probably been his biggest success, and even that was a modest success.
Yeah. The other movie I can think of that did it was The Watermelon Man, which was before this.
Nobody knows that film.
Yeah, that's a very
Melvin Van
Peebles deep cut.
Yeah.
I love that film, man.
But see, isn't that kind of in the blaxploitation kind of side of things, though?
Well, it was blaxploitation, but being made by
Mario Van Peebles.
Well,
this is something Keith and I just talked
his dad,
about.
Melvin.
The studio started the blaxploitation, but then black producers and actors took control of it.
Much
and made
more
it theirs.
satirical than blaxploitation.
Well,
It's
and even
satirical
Shaft
comedy.
came out like 2 years before this too, but I just watched Shaft like not even a month ago, and you realize that there's hardly any scenes in that movie that have anything to do with race, and I think the N-word's only mentioned 3 times.
Wow.
In the entire film.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it has very little to do with race in the film. And actually, it's funny because in the original book, Shaft was white, so it was one of the first race swaps ever in cinema history.
Wow. Yeah, and with the Watermelon Man, Godfrey Cambridge played the main character, and he's a white guy working for an agency. And then he goes to bed and he wakes up the next morning and he's black.
And he's a racist white guy.
Yeah, he's a racist white guy. So I love that fucking movie. What a
I love the bit where he's running.
Glad you brought it up.
He's running for the boss.
He's
He's running for the bus, and all the neighbors start screaming, "Please get the police!"
I got one for the panel since on the quick subject of swapping, race swap. Would you consider Batman 66 Joker one? Because if I recall, the actor who played the Joker was Hispanic, but obviously he's got white skin.
Caesar Romano, technically,
Romero.
Would you consider that? Consider that because obviously Joker has white skin, so it doesn't really, I guess you could say, matter in that regard. But at the same time, he looks like a Joker very definitively well.
One of the most memorable.
He was made up in whiteface. He was made up in clown makeup.
Actually, I have Watermelon Man, by the
Didn't
way.
he have makeup over his mustache?
have it?
Yeah, he did.
It's in the it's in the Melvin Van Peebles collection.
God damn, dude.
I'm just saying he looks great as it, but at the point where you would never even know if you didn't know who he was. And like for the longest time, I didn't know, admittedly, know who Caesar Romano was. I just know him as the guy who was the Joker in that show.
Let's face it, everything below the waist is kaput.
Yeah, I love this. Mel Brooks says this is still the dirtiest song he ever wrote.
Yeah. Coming and going and
going and coming.
Always too soon.
Always
too soon.
I've been with thousands of men.
As she's singing to a bunch of wild up men.
Well, I got some trivia about her too in here if you guys want to hear.
Oh, yeah, dish it out.
Okay, well, first of all, she was doing something with either a movie or a TV show with Lucille Ball.
Okay.
And Lucy believes that Madeline did a shitty job her first day on the job, so she would get fired on purpose, so that way she could get paid and then go do this instead.
Ooh,
and then when she auditioned for this, prior to that, when she had auditioned for this for Mel Brooks, at first Mel Brooks wanted her to pull up her skirt so he could see her legs, and she thought he was being a pervert. And somebody let her know that no, he's married to Anne Bancroft. He's like, yeah, I just want to see your gams to make sure that they're good enough for the role.
She did pass the audition. Wowza.
And she got it, of course, but so then from then on they become good friends, and she wanted to do the movie, of course, after that. But and then
do you remember what her
Young
greatest line in
Frankenstein.
film history is?
What knockers?
Taffeta.
Okay, that's very notable. X-Ray Girl, Eric K says, X-Ray Girl says she's going to cosplay. For anyone in chat who doesn't know that there's a reason why this is notable. X-Ray Girl just saw this movie for her first time.
Really?
So really. So
yesterday.
So this is why this is very important and notable.
They stole your gimmick, Nick.
Well, what's funny is this is probably the role that Madeline's probably most well known for, right? Like,
oh yeah,
yes.
Did
what
she
people
win the
think
Academy
about
Award,
most.
or she got
because a lot of people
nominated?
forget she's in Young
She was
Frankenstein.
nominated. Yeah.
Well, she's in a ton of other stuff, but yeah, at this point in history, like this is the one that most people remember her for.
This and Bug's Life. She got a lot of recognition.
Yeah, you're right. I actually thought A Bug's Life is kick ass.
Oh, I love that movie.
I
It's
can't believe how
Born
much money
Losers.
this thing made. This movie.
It was a huge hit.
For inflation, it's 720 million-ish in today's
Yeah,
dollars.
it's close to $1 billion. It's still one of the highest grossing comedies of all time.
That's amazing.
It cost about $3 million
And-
as well.
On home
Mark the Cyborg
rental, all that
will
shit,
not
it
let
made
her
so much more
cosplay
money.
that.
Wow.
Ooh, look
There's
at that.
actually one
much
Mel
more
Brooks
press.
film that sold more than this, Gary. Do you know which one it is?
Oh,
History
yeah.
of the world.
Spaceballs.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's the only one that
Spaceballs is his
could've.
#1 video seller. I think he said he made like $40 million just off of
I'm going to
video
put
on that.
Wow.
in order of popularity. It's going to be this film, Spaceballs, and then Young Frankenstein.
I would put Young Frankenstein popularity wise probably before Spaceballs, but so happens to be
money popularity.
Oh, money maybe, yeah, but video wise, for some reason, Spaceballs is his #1 seller though on video. He says it keeps selling.
Yeah, and if it hadn't been a parody of Star Wars,
that's probably why.
I don't think it would have picked up.
That and Blazing Saddles fell off in the last 10, 15 years probably too.
Yeah,
it's not.
They can't show it.
Yeah. Even though Warner's has released it like 2 or 3 times on Blu-ray already. Because I had 2 different versions of the Blu-ray.
This is her handing out the big sausage after she received.
Okay, this is where one of my favorite lines is cut because of the MPAA. One of the lines they had to cut here.
Okay.
Just as it breaks to black, because she's like, "Is it true what they say about your people or your kind or whatever?" And she's like, "It's true, it's true." There's a beat, and all of a sudden he goes, "Miss, you're sucking on my elbow." They made him cut that line. I know it says arm on IMDb, but I'm pretty fucking sure it was elbow in the script because it makes more sense.
Makes more sense, yeah.
Yeah, and they wouldn't let him keep that line in. And I'm like, that's the best fucking. That is hilarious. Otherwise, it's still kind of a joke, but without that line, it's not a complete joke. You know what I mean? It's like
no. Well, actually, without that line, it's a very different.
And actually, you're right. It kind of makes it worse if you ask me.
I think so, Tom. I agree. It does make it worse.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, without that line, it plays up to stereotypes too much in a sense. I mean, the end line subverts the stereotype then, which is much funnier.
But it's a similar scene ending gag that he would use later in Young Frankenstein.
But yet they let the one line go about him being what was it? He's not. Damn, we were just talking about it earlier too. The Havana joke.
Mongo. He's not. He's not from Havana. Yeah.
They let that one slide.
They let that go through.
I love Mongo being chained up. It is just so fucking funny.
What's funnier more is that he just unchains himself.
He just stretches and they all break.
Yeah. And this is the one where he has that best bit too, like where he's like, you better be careful. I think old Mongo's getting sweet on you. Oh no, Mongo's straight.
Yeah. Mongo's straight. Oh Lordy.
Yeah, there's one of my favorite lines is when he starts walking over to release Mongo and he goes, "Let me see if I see it," because it's gotta go with a walk.
You want me to get rid of this?
It's legal.
It's cool. So I'm gonna go. And why would you care about it? Yeah. Man, them Schnitzengruben can really wipe you out.
And he's like limping and shit. Yeah.
He's staggering across the room.
This D-Bud says here for 15. 15 is my limit on Schnitzengruben.
Thank you, D-Bud, for the $15. That's a very generous donation, sir. Thank you guys.
That's a medium pizza right there.
Yeah, you guys are going awesome with the super chats and direct donations.
Mango, you're free to go.
You could get a big 18-inch Costco pizza for $9.99, man.
You know, Costco actually has good pizza. If we're going to be very fair here,
Skippy,
Costco
also
is actually
Walmart
good.
Too. Walmart's pizzas that you get in a box, really
Costco
good
blows it away. Costco blows it away.
We finally got a Costco here, so I'm going to try that out.
Oh, trust me. Walmart's not even close. Costco is actually like I will go out of my way, spend extra money for Costco if it costs more. That's the difference.
We've been a Sam Walton town here in Springfield. We tons of Walmarts, the Walmart markets and Sam's Clubs. We have 2 Sam's Clubs, but in between the Sam's Clubs, they put in a Costco. And it was just in the last 2 years.
Now, Sam's Club had the Nathan's hot dog, the New York hot dogs. I do love Nathan's hot dogs. I do love Nathan's.
Now, I guess
Anyway,
we're getting
I love them
talking
too.
about like those big clubs. We're getting between Costco and Sam's. We're getting a BJ.
I've
what?
never caught that
Sorry,
line.
what?
You never
I've
caught
never caught that
that
line from Mongo before.
Really? Oh,
Yeah, never noticed it.
that was always one of my favorites. Oh, Mongo straight, because he says it very straight as it is too. On top of
Yes.
That's
I
quick,
don't know
it's
what he
quick,
said.
yeah.
I don't know what I thought he said, but it wasn't straight.
That's why I always watch movies with subtitles on now. And of course, I'm gonna get the screen grab, so I think it always helps having that. Although it was a lot of extra work today with all the words I had to
Mark,
cover up.
I do thank you for doing the extra
Yeah.
work. I do.
Yeah,
thank
especially
you.
after going and white out all the black words, let's say.
Yeah, we don't want to nuke Nick's channel, right? So
Right.
Yeah.
I think we were more worried about that than we ever have been about a butt or a nipple in any.
Mark, did you use white out or black out for that?
I use Photoshop whiteout.
Photoshop
And then, you know
whiteout.
what? And the horrible thing when you start Photoshop now, they're showing that new Lord of the Rings garbage on your startup screen. They pay Amazon paid Adobe.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
So I
There's
started
an
up. I
Adobe thing with it. I think Adobe's
yeah,
promoting
and I thought it
for
was
them,
Captain
yeah.
Marvel at first. I'm like, why is Brie Larson on my screen? But it's actually the new what's the you know the fake.
I actually read about that the other day.
Oh,
yeah,
my
there's
God,
some
it was like,
promotion
what's
going on.
I'm like, what the heck is
Galadriel?
Yeah, Galadriel, the fake Galadriel.
Yeah.
Well, here I'll horrify you guys. Let's see if I can.
Go. All right.
I'll pull it up on this screen.
This edit is huge.
I can't do it. It won't go to the other screen. But yeah, if you
Thank
Google
God.
it, you'll see it. Yeah.
Is it too
So-
huge?
I would hate that. This is a desktop installed version, or is this the online?
No, this is you can only buy the you have
Yeah,
to
it's
sub
only a
to it.
cloud version now.
So
Yeah,
they
you
can
can't
force
even
you
own
to
it.
watch that.
Yeah. It was like I started swearing. My wife's like, "What are you yelling at?" What
I'm
the
glad
like,
I've
why
got
the heck is
Cyberlink
this?
now instead of that.
Yeah. I'm like, what the heck is on here? Yeah.
Okay. They said you was hung, and they was right.
They let that line go. Yeah, remember that?
Yeah. Very amazing. I love that line. And
I like
Nelson.
the fact that. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say real quick, and then we'll bring it back to Blazing Saddles. Taco Bell, besides their nacho fries, is
Recognize-
against my religion.
Yeah.
Really?
By the way,
I don't
recognize those
touch
rocks
it.
from Star Trek?
Yep. Is there Gorn sighting anywhere near there? Or, where's my Gorn? Yeah, isn't that where the Gorn scene? Well, Star Trek. Everyone went there too, right? Yeah. So
Lost in Space had a few scenes shot there.
Mongol only pawn in game. Mongol like, man, I want a Mongol figure. That's it. No, Brooks needs to just get a Blazing Saddles line of figures going.
Well,
I'll
Andy
buy
Masterson
Mongo.
could do it for you.
Oh,
He can
hey,
do anything,
Andy,
right?
if you're out there, right? Andy, if you're out there, get a Mongo figure
Take
going.
Nick's money.
Right?
Do you know what Mel Brooks, according to him, what Richard Pryor said after he found out Cleavon Little was playing this part instead of him?
What?
He said, I could be Cuban, but there's no mistaking Cleavon. He'd scare the shit out of those rednecks.
Oh, is that why Cleavon says? Is that the line where he says, "I'm not"? Khan whispers in ear, and he says, "I'm not Cuban." Was that a?
No, well, that
reference?
that was a whole reference to the Cuban lover thing.
Oh, okay.
But Richard Pryor is half white. Most people don't realize that.
Mm-hmm.
So he was a lighter skinned man. I think that's what he was referring to, is that Cleavon
okay.
Little is a much more prominent black person, let's say.
All good, Nelson. All good. I figure you're just fucking with me. Oh,
And actually, I think he might be half Cuban instead of actually just half white. But yeah, like I think if I remember right, his dad was black and his mom was Cuban, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the movie JoJo Dancer? That's pretty much Richard Pryor's life.
Yeah.
He was the son of a whore.
Yep.
Literally.
She was a actual call girl.
And he was raised by his
in a whorehouse.
By his father and the madam. Yeah.
Wow.
The madam
the
was
actual
basically like his grandma.
Yep.
that is very hoary.
It's fucked up, but that's why one of the reasons why he had a hard time dealing with women later in life.
No, I get it.
Because he grew up around the shit, and he could never trust women for some reason. Well, you know the reason.
Right.
Oh man.
And Gene just sitting there calmly.
Jim. I like that he was just Jim. That's all. He wanted to just be all badass. Was a badass. Well, no, I'd say he's still badass in this movie. Oh, yes, Twinkie Cat 3-pack. Mongo, Wago Kid, and Bart figures. Sideshow collectibles. Bro.
That was the other good line. The hard part was coming. Oh, that's mad every day. That's like a wet dream for Mad right there. As I was saying, the other line I like is the hard part was coming up with the candy grammer. I think he said inventing the candy gram, doesn't he? In the movie?
He was the easy part. The hard part was coming up with the kid.
Does he say coming up? Okay, yeah.
So that
whatever it was.
I thought it was
Tom,
inventing, but
word
yeah.
for word.
So that
yeah, it could have been.
So that's why I haven't been in the chat much tonight. So I was editing excuse me, editing that video during the show. But yeah.
Thank you, Mark. That was we always need something that at least one clip that has Mad Mardigan's face on it that will,
It's the only way to get him on the show these days.
Yeah. It's either that or he has Handy Randy always commenting for him in the chat. If you're out there, Handy Randy, we know you're there.
I love him there. How about a round of applause for the Waco Kid? And they're all clapping as in pain. One guy's tapping the back of his hand.
Taggart's actually clapping for him. It's like, you idiot. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh man. You're going to need an army to beat him.
You're finished. Far cooked. Look at.
What the fuck? What the fuck did I just look at?
That was very horrifying to look at.
Oh,
Oh my god.
yeah.
That is very.
It's disturbing.
It is.
Just to say the least. Good night, Anonymous. I hope you got to see those faces.
Head.
That was really weird. Hey, 70s. I'll let you have this line.
Oh, geez. I can't remember them all. They're all passing by me. Hang on. I'll have to read it. I want rustlers, cutthroats, murderers, bounty hunters, desperados, mugs, pugs, thugs, nitwits, halfwits, dimwits, vipers, snipers, conmen, Indian agents, Mexican bandits, muggers, buggerers, bushwhackers, hornswogglers, horse thieves, bull dykes, train robbers, bank robbers, ass kickers, shit kickers, and Methodists.
Could you repeat all that?
I can do it backwards.
Oh,
could you repeat that? Sorry, I even found the pen by then.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I got my pen here. See, I can write it down right now.
It's a classic. I'll just stick to the Methodists.
Oh, look.
Hedley Lamar.
Okay. That
actually,
opportunity employer.
Gene was meant to be in the film from the beginning, actually, I guess. He was meant to play Hedley Lamar, but he turned it down.
What?
But you're right. The rest of the story is the same as we told earlier. He came back in at the last minute to replace the actor who originally was cast as Waco Kid, which he wanted to play instead anyway.
Can you imagine if we had Richard Pryor as Bart and we had Hedley being played by Willy Wonka, and I'm trying to imagine what this movie would look like.
I think it's best the way it is. I don't know if
it is. It is. I'm just trying to imagine what could have been. That's all. It's I just like to entertain it. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to change a thing about this movie. But it just makes me wonder because of how many big changes there were involved with this that happened along the way. It makes me wonder.
Crazy.
Yeah, no, it's nuts.
But Richard Pryor's almost always Richard Pryor in the movies I've seen him in.
Yeah.
He kind of plays himself, so I don't know how he'd work in this.
Oh, there's Mel Brooks
That's
again.
what I think too.
Yep.
Yeah. I guess the song that's playing when Von Stoop is being introduced on the piano is "Springtime for Hitler."
Man. The ending is crazy. Damn it, Mad Mardigan. And nope, I guess Handy Randy's not here tonight. Usually Handy Randy's always commenting lightning fast. Like,
must not be here.
Yeah, we bring out the Handy. Or the wife. You know, that's funny. I literally have a friend from the west side of Chicago who says the same shit to me. And I'm not joking. And he doesn't look like Cleavon, but he's definitely tall and kind of lanky like Cleavon. So this is like something that I see the image. I'm like, that's literally been me in real life with my buddy Dan. That's that image. kind of hits home. Got the
James Earl
Creepazoid
Jones
here.
was also considered for the role.
Yes, he was.
Whoa.
Or at
That
least
would've
I
been-
heard
wow.
he was.
Would have been different.
I see. As much
He
as
could have
I
pulled
love-
it off, I think.
Are
Yeah.
you chewing
I
gum?
have a hard time.
Chewing gum and lying? I hope you brought enough for everyone.
I love James Earl Jones. I'm trying to imagine it. Maybe I'd have to see it, but because when I think of it, I don't see it. But hey, maybe I'm wrong.
The problem is he never really did comedy until Coming to America. That was the thing.
Yeah,
Right.
that's maybe that's why I'm having a hard time being sold on it because I just
But he was good in that, so I think he could have pulled it off.
he's excellent. I'm just
Man,
like
boy, is he strict.
And this is that.
It's like this is the teacher saying to the student, "I hope you brought enough for everybody." and then
Sesame
shooting
Street
the
actually-
student.
Sesame Street actually parodied this in the 90s. I had no idea.
No,
Really?
They had a
what?
Muppet named Black Bart,
Oh,
who was an
geez.
outlaw who came into a saloon.
What? Oh, so wow, they truly did think about. Hey, in case there's a parent watching, the 5 parents are watching this. We're gonna make a Blazing Saddles joke, and can you imagine if you're a parent and you're with your kid?
Well, it
watching
wasn't. Doesn't sound like it was a specifically Blazing Saddles, but they had a character named Black Bart who was a cowboy. It sounds like here. So take that as you will.
Okay, I will take that as I will. Just like Eric K. Nick said he is hard. For $2. Thank you, Eric K. Oh, Lordy.
This lineup of criminals wouldn't be this diverse today.
No. Nope, they would all be my patriarchy.
Yeah.
There'll be wasps. Yeah.
Yep.
You can't have. This is why I mentioned
Well, there
earlier
was
about.
There was a
Go ahead,
Black Bart.
70s.
There was actually a Black Bart outlaw in the West.
Mhm.
American outlaw called Black Bart.
They could have
white,
been.
wasn't he?
Black Bart.
This is
They could have
He
been
was
using
white.
that for
Sierra-
the
he
Sesame
was
Street
white.
one. Then
Treasure of Sierra Madre reference here
Which one would?
with Humphrey Bogart.
The
It's
stinking badges.
paraphrased.
Yeah.
We don't need no
badges.
stinking batches.
I thought this was originally from that movie. I'm just kidding.
Oh.
No, the fun thing is like you watch these old movies and sometimes like you quote movies and friends have no idea like where the lines come from.
Right.
So you know
Yep.
like get random quotes and like you realize I'm quoted a movie, don't you?
By,
Well, that's
by the
another
way,
thing with kids nowadays. Yeah.
By the way, the
Now,
original
Tom,
book
I wanted
that-
to tell you, I've done this joke with Keith on the show.
Oh, yeah.
You know, flipping his hand over. See, he's white.
the line "We don't need no stinking badges" is from Sierra Madre, but that was based on a book that had to be censored when they
Yeah.
did it in 1948 because he says 2 things in Spanish that they couldn't put on the screen in Spanish. He says,
Wow.
"We don't need to show your badges, cabron," and do something socially unacceptable to your mother.
And for the record, YouTube AI, because I know YouTube AI, you are a very real thing. This is literally a scene from a movie parodying this. This is not actually happening. This is not us endorsing. This is literally a parody, aka comedy. If you can try to understand that AI, that'd be great. We're not showing off clips of people joining some big cult meeting. It's a scene from a movie. Thank you.
Although
AI.
I need to point something out right now.
Point it out.
Whitest panel ever.
I see. Black Bar is also the dream villain for. No, yeah, he's right. I remember that now. Yeah, that's whoa.
Well, there's actually precedent behind them wanting to save that cart. By the way, if it really did cost $400 with inflation, that'd be over $9,000 today.
Oh yeah, right.
Not cheap.
And not only that, this was the first movie released by Warner Home Video.
The very first
I'm not
movie.
surprised.
Wow.
Choice.
The
Not
first video
surprised.
they
Good
ever
choice.
released. Yeah.
On VHS or just
Yeah.
video?
Just
wow.
I know
home
they
video,
made a
yeah.
ton of money off of this.
So that means if this came out, because I remember when DVDs were new and they were expensive, and I remember VHS were starting to become more affordable, I guess you could say. What were the first prices of VHS?
Oh,
when they came
VHS
out?
were kind of put out at a really high.
What do you remember? At
The
price?
first sell-through movies, the original prices were in the $50 to $100 range, depending.
Yeah.
That's why rental became so popular.
That's why, it became a rental thing.
Yeah, when I wanted to buy a copy of Hard Boiled, the John Woo film, and it was like $60.
Disney was actually one of the first ones to try a sell-through method, and then Paramount followed up quickly. Disney put out a bunch of their live-action films. I believe Dumbo and Sword in the Stone were the first 2 animated ones, and those sold so well that they put out Robin Hood, and then they did a huge theatrical push with Pinocchio. And that was the first time they announced they were putting it out, and it was going to get put in a vault and all that business. And that was, I can't believe that. I can't remember if that was, I think it was 84. And then that same year, Paramount put out Star Trek the Motion Picture, Star Trek 2, and Beverly Hills. This would have been 85 then. Star Trek the Motion Picture, Star Trek 2, and Beverly Hills Cop as sell-through prices. And then the following year, Top Gun for a sell-through price. So that would have been the first time when Top Gun came out, I believe. They actually had a sell-through price right away aside from Pinocchio. If you would consider, but like basically Top Gun was the first time they had a first-run sell-through film.
This is one of my favorite lines in the movie coming up. But we don't want the Irish.
But we don't want the Irish.
Well, yeah, we don't want
that. Well, it's because the Irish were treated like black people back then.
I quote that all the time, and nobody knows what I'm talking about.
For the record, that absolutely cracked up X-Ray Girl yesterday.
That one kills me.
She thought that was hysterical.
Because I agree with him.
Shut up.
Oh, that's hilarious.
You're canceled now. People would pay over $100 for Star Wars back in the day when it first came out.
Yeah.
And what they would do, because they were so worried about this shit, because at that time they would think that, the FBI could come and, raid your store, or Fox could come and ask for tapes back and all that kind of shit, or the companies could. So that what they would do is they would buy a couple copies, and then they would get quote unquote damaged. And then whoever would pay for the damage, they just get tape. That's how a lot of people bought their first copies of Star Wars.
Wow.
And those copies that sold for $100 back then go for a couple $100 today, because they have a special label on them and all this other shit. So
I'm surprised they don't hit $1,000. I mean, those gotta be so rare. Like,
it's just more for the sentimental, historical value than anything. But
okay, makes sense. Now Ted has a great comment here that they show this on the Family Channel all the time. I feel like
they did, and that's what I was talking about before. That's where they restored the fart scene, but they took out everything else, and I mean everything else.
The last channel I heard of that showed this movie uncut was BET.
He's got some
Black Entertainment.
That's kind of cool.
Television channel.
He's got German second.
They were the last that I ever heard of that showed this thing uncut.
Yeah,
wow.
That's cool.
Of all. Oh, this is what he says. I, yes, and your name.
Yeah.
Schmucks.
This an almost certain award for this.
And by the way,
has the bike.
Where did you get the Germans from the Second World War?
Yeah,
and
we got a biker there too. Look, there's 2 bikers there.
With the fake handlebars on them.
Who does not believe that the pledge oath in Animal House was stolen from this? State your name. State your name.
Yeah.
Your name. Yeah. I laugh. That's one of those things that still cracks me up to say, because just the stupidity of it all. Like he means, guys, just say who you are, but they all said your names. Oh my god!
Yes.
Oh my god! Oh, that was horrifying.
Kinky.
Well, I'll tell you, when we swore into the army, I heard people to my left and right who said, "State your name." Instead of saying that when we were sworn in. And I'm like, I was terrified. I did it for real. I wasn't gonna fucking goof off, but I heard 2 guys fucking.
Kenny, I expect nothing less from the army.
That's the thing. I would imagine if I was in the military, I would feel like you better not fuck up saying something like that, because
I was scared. I wouldn't have done it.
You got any dimes? Shit, we gotta go back and get a whole shitload of dimes.
Where they got the idea in Kenobi from.
Yeah.
This scene, I tell you.
There was a tollway in Kenobi.
Yes.
I didn't watch it, So this is like.
No, I didn't either, but this is where they
But yeah, they could have went around. That's the whole joke. We compared it to this.
Okay.
Yes, and Kyle did a great video on it, but didn't mention that I was the first one to make that fucking criticism, Kyle.
Well, I did put a meme out there fairly early on, so who knows?
No, I did it first. Fuck you.
Gary, I just gave you credit in the chat though for your comment that you're most comfortable when surrounded by black men.
It's true, especially naked.
Well, yeah, that's the meme.
Mongo says Garth Brooks actually Mel Brooks's illegitimate son. Garth do country music tour by against Wacky Father Mango.
You know what's funny is that one of the Johnsons there in the town is John Fetterman. Is that the actor? A year before, he made High Plains Drifter with Clint Eastwood, which was exactly this idea, where the town is kind of painted up and faked up when the bad guys arrive. Not quite the same. It's got a very similar feel at the end of it. Now there he is there on the right. Yeah. So he was in High Plains Drifter just a year before, doing very similar thing. Yeah. Which I always thought was quite amusing that it's kind of the same thing at the end, you know.
It looks like Slim Pickens right there.
That's right.
It is. It is.
I mean, he stands like a fucking cowboy.
Hillerman, not Fetterman. Hillerman.
He's got the shot.
John Hillerman.
Yes, John Hillerman.
Fetterman's a different guy.
John Hillerman.
Was this the first movie to break the fourth wall like this? Do you guys know?
No, I'm sure it's.
No, I don't know if it was the first movie, but this movie.
But the Looney Tunes used to break the fourth wall.
But it made a big deal of it, of course. It did make it. Yeah. It did it a few times. Yeah.
Hillerman's.
It is one of the first what I would consider like a satirical parody film, I guess you could call it. Outside of maybe like the Laurel and Hardy monster movies, I suppose.
There was a silent movie way back, a silent western that broke the fourth wall when the guy points the pistol at the screen at the end and fires it as if he's firing at the audience. I don't know the name of it.
Well, what do we know then? Which property? I guess obviously Looney Tunes, maybe for cartoons they popularized it, but maybe for movie or TV show, what popularized the breaking the fourth wall element? What do we know?
I mean, because you had movies like Frankenstein and stuff where they had the warning ahead of the film, right? Like, and he would address the audience directly. The one guy who played the doctor in that, and I don't know. I'd have to look it up, but I'm sure it's something that could have been done years and years prior to this. But this is the first time I remember like an actual satirical parody kind of
the
film.
Wrong Man. Too.
It's the first time I ever remember it. Yeah.
I would say though this is the first straight up parody though. Like,
yeah.
And they carry it the furthest soon.
Oh, this also these Mongo comments. Mongo say rich white men own BET. Mongo said the irony is palpable. The shield. No. Yeah, G-Bud. She-Hulk could use a dose of Mel Brooks mixed with John Byrne era writing of that comic. And they would have a sensational writing team. No sensational pun intended. For those who know the comics. So, no, I love this big old slug of mine. I love how he texts him and he realizes what he did.
I seem to recall Groucho Marx breaking the fourth wall a lot in Marx Brothers movies.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is great. Lily,
maybe you could consider like the Marx Brothers and the Three Stooges used to break. Not so much. Well, even the fourth wall. Sometimes I was going to say they even kind of were parodies before this.
That's
too.
right.
But yeah.
Stan Laurel didn't do it. It was always Oliver Hardy. He would turn and look at the camera.
Yeah. This is where this movie gets seriously weird.
Yeah,
because we abandoned we abandoned the idea that we're inside the story, and suddenly we're looking at the back lot.
Burbank, California.
Beautiful downtown Burbank.
Screw you, buddy. I'm from Mel Brooks.
You're not expecting this when you watch it for the first time.
And
you're not expecting this at all.
Dom DeLuise came in at the last minute too because Peter Sellers was originally supposed to play the director.
Oh my God!
Did I hear that correctly?
Fucking nails this, dude.
He does.
And Mel Brooks wrote this song too.
Not in the face.
Oh,
the French Mistake.
Yep, yes, the French mistake. Yep.
Well, who was that on the image?
That's me.
Oh, Mark, that was glorious.
Strangely fits.
You look too
That
much
should be
like
your
Dom
name.
DeLuise, dude. That's
Yeah,
why.
I know. Yeah, that's why
Mark
I
Would
gotta-
be, if
You
that was
should
you,
not-
that your character name would be Strangely Fits.
Mark, that outfit fits you.
Yeah, I gotta get that. Yeah, for
I
Halloween.
can see
yeah.
you doing the moves and everything too. I want
I
Mark
am
to do
so gay for this scene.
This is Gary's favorite scene in the whole movie.
House to the yeah.
Jerry has a weird boner about this scene right now. Not a normal one, but a weird one.
Oh, here it goes.
I'll leave that one there.
And
there we
He's
go.
coming right through the wall. Clearly, that's a painted wall behind him. Not even on a set anymore. It's just so
Yeah.
fucking funny.
But you watch it the first time, you're like, "What the hell is
What the
going
fuck
on?"
is going on? Yeah.
I just
I mean,
think
the
they
movie
didn't know
was
how to
crazy.
end the movie.
It
Yes.
didn't.
Yeah,
They're
it's
just yeah.
which came first, this or Monty Python's Holy Grail?
Oh,
You know, that's a
another
good
Exactly.
question.
Except this actually
Um,
works better than the Grail.
Very similar
This actually
timing.
I
works.
think they
This
were
is a
came out the same
close
year.
Same
Did
year,
they?
yeah.
His son,
No,
I'm working
Holy
for
Grail
another
came
one.
out in '75 here anyway.
Not in the
Not
face.
in the face.
Not in the face. Not in the
But they'd
face.
they would be being filmed at the same time, roughly.
backdoor Jerry.
And
confirmed.
then thank you.
Yes.
Let's
Come on,
get 'em,
girls.
Oh damn!
I'm going to give him such a smacking.
Oh yeah, that's that scene.
I'm
coming
gonna
up
give
now,
him
yeah.
such a pinch.
You vulgar shit.
This is so fucked up.
You
right
miserable pansy.
Here. The slit.
Marked over by the commentary.
That's so Hollywood.
It's so fucking funny.
Wow!
Vicious brute.
Wow! I don't know. I just don't know anymore.
Oh
Yeah,
shit.
This is a scene
Just
made
look
for
a bit
Mad
like
Mardigan. Yeah, it is.
And those two are just synchronized swimming for no reason.
Oh god, you're gonna show that airplane clip again.
Why not? This movie's just gone off the rails. So.
It has gone off
Yeah.
the rails.
Hitler.
I love this
There he
line.
is.
Hitler,
Hi,
yeah.
You got much more to go? He says to him, "You got much more to go?" He says, "They lose me right after the bunker scene."
Yeah.
He's Jewish. What the hell is that?
And this is your last dose of toxicity
James
that
Dean.
you'll see for the rest
James
of the
Dean on the
movie.
wall. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. That is James Dean on the wall. I didn't even
Yeah.
notice
Well,
all this time.
On the posters that Black Bart was putting up earlier in the movie
Yeah,
are the exact same posters from a John Wayne film. Shit. Oh, let me look here.
Get your pies for the great pie fight.
Stagecoach?
Was it El Dorado? I bet it's El Dorado.
El Dorado.
I think it might be the latter. Let's see here. You guys can keep talking while I'm looking.
No, that's all the monkey. Yeah,
Here's the
Oh, this is
studio
great.
tour.
when the ladies
Okay,
walk
tour.
in and they all get pied on, they all got a facial.
They got cream pie.
Well,
Love the
you
Hitler
call it
guy.
Facial.
Well, yeah,
you-
a lot of times you don't get to see an actor on those tours. I've been on
Get
those
the
tours,
Hitler
right? So
guy.
they got the full pie treatment, right?
Mark.
Yep. Yeah, out they come.
Wow.
Covered.
They got Randy Marsh on when Randy went to California Way. They got the Randy
See the
Marsh
ghost?
guy.
Yeah. It comes
What?
sliding down
Spooky ghost.
the the shelf covered in food.
Coca-Cola and Tab.
Oh, dude,
Tab.
yeah, back in the like a tab.
Doing
Yeah, I
a
like some-
surprise.
Okay,
soda
right
was
here,
so
wait a minute,
extravagant.
right here, right here. He mouths. You don't hear it, but he mouths, "What the f?"
Yep.
And then backs into the men's room, and it comes out covered in pie.
That's right.
No, they break out of the lot, yeah.
Yeah, they come flying out of the lot.
And
This
then
is
they
pure
go back.
insanity. This
And this is
ending.
where you see it. They take it back to the Chinese theater.
Yes,
and all of a
Grauman's.
sudden you
Grauman's.
see Jim and Bart. We got to finish the movie.
Right.
Yeah, what do we do
And-
now?
And Harvey Korman now runs across the road, hails a cab, and goes, "Drive me off this picture."
Oh yeah, yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
Genius, absolutely freaking genius. That line is.
And here comes Bart on his horse.
Oh, there's an Al Pacino movie, The Crow, in the poster in the background.
Well, it looks like it says Scarecrow.
The
And
Scarecrow?
look, we're going to see Blazing Saddles, the movie.
It's so weird how small that little area is when you get there in person. It seems
Oh,
so
you
big.
saw it? Yeah, it looks like legendary in movies.
It's not that big. Yeah.
It's tiny.
Wow.
You get there and you're like, wait, is this like the real? It's like what they would put in Vegas. You know what I mean? Like a scaled down version.
Okay.
But it's the full size. But I mean, it's cool seeing all the handprints and all the the finger signings and like and the cement and everything from all the historical people.
Look, Armin, I'm in Hedley Lamar's shoes.
It's Hedley.
Yeah. Oh, another in joke coming up. Raisinets is Mel Brooks' favorite candy.
Now, who is that? Is that Mel Brooks' dad? Maybe in the audience, or that person that he puts his hand over? I was trying. Did anyone know if this person is? I
don't
right here. I know. I was just wondering if that was like a cameo or something because he puts his hand over his face. Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like a lot of cocaine was involved in finishing this film.
Oh, dude,
To get to this point,
drugs were involved with finishing this movie. Like mad.
Rio Bravo was the John Wayne movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. I just remembered.
I am armed.
No.
He's fitting on Boba Fett.
And then he comments on the feet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't remember what he said about the feet.
He said
How do you do all those stunts?
He do all those stunts with such tiny feet.
Yeah.
How do you do such amazing stunts with such tiny feet?
Right here. Here it
Yes, there they are.
Right.
Hand and footprints.
And done.
You shot the bad
guy.
Hedley Lamar.
With a dollar sign.
Let's check out the end of the flick. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love a happy ending.
If you'll notice, the marquee will still say Black Bart because that was when it was still being called Black Bart at that time. I don't know if you caught it in the shop, but yeah.
I did not. I did not catch that.
Magnum PI time.
Yep.
John Hellerman. Yep.
And this is where it actually the actual movie has an actual finish after it went off the rails for 10 minutes, kind of.
Sort of, because when he I'll wait.
Yeah, wait for it. Wait for
It's
it. Yeah.
very existential ending.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I don't know what to make of this ending. Someone who wanted to say something.
Damn around here.
I'm convinced that Mel Brooks just didn't know how to end the movie.
Well, it turned out pretty good, though.
But I have to say, for a I made it up as I went along ending.
Yeah.
As a fan of Stephen King, this is a hell of a lot better.
Or at least we got an ending on Song of Fire and Ice, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, they may have had like a pretty standard shootout and all that kind of crap, and they're probably like, well, this is just too much like a regular Western. We need to do something here that's different.
Well, and they had to compete with the likes of Monty Python, who were doing different stuff. There's lots more modern comedy.
Well, they ended up making up that whole ending for their film. Because
Gene Wilder's
they
got a
didn't have the
bucket.
budget.
Gene Wilder's got a bucket of movie popcorn in his hand from the movie theater.
Yeah.
While he's watching it right now, it's so weird.
Yeah, while he's
so
watching it, he's
esoteric.
watching himself holding his own popcorn. Yes. This is why this gets
weird.
so weird.
And they
Now,
go
the
right off to
director
the
doesn't yell
sunset.
cut.
Yeah.
So they just ride to the limousine, hand the reins over to the animal handler, get in the limo, and ride off into the sunset.
That's right.
Traditional ending, except it's a Lincoln.
Except you see how big that car is. You're like, man, how did you ever drive a thing that big?
Yep.
It drove itself. It just to drive itself.
And then I get my Telluride, and I'm like, oh, I get it now.
It happens.
And they ride off to the sunset. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, we also got that before Brent birth. The Texax thing.
Yes. I think that was much earlier in the show. I think, much earlier we talked about that. Thank you to Tom, of course, for bringing that up.
Well, I stole all this stuff from trivia things here.
No,
some of this stuff I knew, but most of this stuff was.
Yeah, some things I knew, and then some things I had to learn along the way as well. So I know that feel. But all right, chat, you know the ritual here as per usual. Give out your toxicity scores. I will be shocked if you guys give 7s or 6s for it. And of course, the greatness of the movie score. And while you guys give out your score, of course, I will highlight and read them all, and I will try to blaze through them. No pun intended. And then we'll also, while you guys are getting those scores right, we'll have our panels do their scores and thoughts on the movie. So we'll start off with our guest, Zaxx. Zaxx, where do you stand on this movie? Toxicity and greatness.
Toxicity, it's got to be a 10 out of 10, really. I don't know how you get more toxic than this. And ratings wise, I'm going to give it a 9. Give it a 9. Yeah, 9 out of 10. It starts and finishes strong. In the middle, I thought it was still very good, but the strength was at the beginning and the end for me.
Okay, killer, awesome. 70s.
There are a handful of films in my life, no matter how many films I like, that I always come back to again and again, both for referencing and to watch again. And this is one of those sort of 10, 15 movies that I can't seem to shake them. I did see it, when I was about 11 or 12, so it stuck with me ever since. It's definitely a 10 for toxicity. You could not make it now. Mm-hmm. You couldn't even woke it up now because it wouldn't be a movie then. They just couldn't do it. You couldn't. It would be impossible to do now in any shape or form. And it's I've got to give it a 10 out of 10 as a movie. For me, I absolutely adore this film. It's in my top films of all time.
All right. Killer, dude. Thank you. Gerry. What are your scores? Toxicity and greatness.
Like Nigel said, I go with 11. This is a perfect film. It's a perfect comedy, and it is one of my top favorite films of all time, as well as comedies, because I just fucking love the film. I'll watch it over and over. I'll never get tired of this film. Absolutely 10 across the board. I love the writing. I love the toxicity. I love the comedy. I love the cast. There's nothing that's not perfect about this film. Nothing.
All right. Killer.
So fuck you. That's it. That's all I got to say. Fuck you.
All right. Hey, that's all you got to say. Then that's all you got to say. Tom.
I mean, this is a perfect film, a 10 out of 10. I think it's one of the most well-paced comedies, pound for pound, laughs throughout.
But was it black enough?
No. No, like as I pointed out in the beginning of the stream, I think it's a very important film, just up there with The Godfather and a lot of other classics as far as cinematic history goes, and hopefully it will live on for generations to come. Lord knows, by today's standards, they would love to cancel this film, but that's because they just don't understand it. So, like, as far as the ratings go, I give it a 10 out of 10. There's no doubt about that. But on a toxicity level, I mean, I would say this is probably one of the most toxic films we've ever shown on here. Yeah. But that's more or less by today's standards than anything, I guess. So I have to really kind of think about that and really overall, it's like the toxicity in it is there to teach a lesson of sorts. So this movie was woke before woke, and it's doing it better than any woke movie ever could.
Except for the boob scene. Yes. Come on, Tom. That was not teaching anything but boobs are awesome.
That's a lesson that needs to be taught again, Gary.
True. And look at that. You had an amazing black lead. He makes the town of white people look stupid, and we're all cheering for it. We're all cheering for it.
If they made it now, would they race swap the two leads?
Ooh, I don't know. They can't have they don't like a guy who's out there, kicking ass as a black man who stands up for himself. That doesn't have the victimhood card. They can't have that. All right.
I mean, there's just a few films that I would call perfect. This is possibly one that's close to it, maybe not 100% perfect, because yeah, that ending goes to a bit of a batshit crazy territory, and some of the best lines getting cut out and stuff like that still bother me. But it would be really cool if before he goes, Mel put together like a 4K remaster of this as a director's cut with everything restored that he could. That was
while
worth a
he's
shit.
alive. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, there's some decent deleted scenes and some other things that and a lot of his part got cut out, right?
Tom,
Like when he had to sacrifice.
That?
Probably. But I mean, Mel has said it himself. Like a large majority of the cut footage is his stuff as governor. So there's probably tons of that shit that I would love to see. But
and the secretary.
Well, we've got David Zaslav now, so maybe
he'd be like, "Fuck you! We're putting out Blazing Saddles in the 50th anniversary, the version you've never seen."
Amen. David's
the more toxic edition.
I would buy it. I'd buy it. 50th anniversary edition. I'd be all over it.
I'd buy multiple copies.
Oh, this is a film that I have bought on every medium since VHS to DVD twice. Because I bought the original DVD and then the special edition DVD, then the Blu-ray, and then the 40th anniversary Blu-ray. Yeah, I've bought this at least 5 or 6 times.
Hopefully we get the 4K. Hopefully we get 4K.
I hope so. Fingers crossed. Because I think, here's the thing, is that 40th anniversary edition came out in 2014. And if I remember right then, I think they did a 4K master for that. But I'm not, I think I read out earlier that they did not. So,
but it only came out on Blu-ray format.
Right. Well, they didn't have 4K yet then,
yeah. But
even now, going back from what I looked, I think I read something wrong because it looks like it's from the same master as the old Blu-ray. So it definitely could use a remaster, that's for sure. It still looks pretty good.
It looks good, I think. Yeah.
But considering, I think it would really look amazing on 4K.
I think that I want to thank Mark for his hard work on this, but it is the single worst cut of the film because it's not a movie anymore; it's just images.
It's moving pictures.
You had to really work with me there, Nick. Don't get confused.
You lost me, Gary, but you brought me back.
The Mark cut sucks, is what he's saying.
Yeah, I shouldn't have. Should have cut all that other stuff in between.
It took a bit.
Nothing personal, but your shit stinks.
Mine does too. Yeah. Oh.
No, I'm like Crypto from the new Super Pets. My poop smells like, well, I call it poopery.
I thought about checking that out, but I'm like, I don't know about paying $20 for it.
I just saw a free copy.
When's it going to be on HBO Max? I was going to say, well, all this comes on like this next week here, so I waited long enough. I'm like, fuck it.
Yeah,
watch it for free. Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Oh,
hi, Dustin. What's happening? Final thoughts.
All right, so I'm conflicted. So, I mean, a lot of things that have been said here, like, 10 out of 10 for toxicity, but I don't necessarily think I agree with that, but I don't think it's low on the toxicity either. It's kind of like what Tom said. It's like, if you look at it where today's eyes, then you're going to see all the toxicity. Oh, they're saying the bad words. They're, making the lewd jokes and whatever. But I think, going back to what Tom said, when this came out, it was saying something. It's a very poignant piece. I think it's very well made, well done. I mean, it does it went off the rails toward like that third act there, but the jokes land. They're funny. They're clever. We hadn't seen something like this up to this point. I mean, I wasn't even born when this came out, but comedy movies were always a little more slapsticky, but not thoughtful. I guess maybe I don't know. But I think this one really was teaching a lesson, and I think it's something that I think we should cherish because it's definitely something we should be looking at and running with instead of being afraid of it.
Agreed. Well spoken, Dustin. That's absolutely awesome, dude. No, thank you for that. That's awesome. I appreciate the point of honesty where you're coming from. So thank you for that. All right, Mark.
Thank you. Yep. Yeah, so as Dustin so eloquently said, yeah, this is an important movie. I mean, it's a comedy, but today you read about Huck Finn and a lot of Mark Twain getting pulled out of school, or different books that they don't want kids to read, read today because it's too sensitive. It might hurt their feelings or their fifis. But life isn't easy. Life is hard, and there's some horrible people out there. And that was the whole point of Mark Twain's book and Huckleberry Finn, and showing the evil and the bad that was out there. And that's the point of this movie. Mel Brooks, you're having a great time, with this movie, laughing along with it. But the whole time they're making fun of the racists and the morons, the idiots, and they're doing it in a smart, intelligent way. And you've got Richard Pryor writing, Cleavon Little, great cast. Gene Wilder is just his comedy is just so brilliant and so intelligent and subtle, but never over the top, but just really just so well done. You just really appreciate it. What a loss that was when he passed away. And we don't get a lot of stuff like this anymore, so it's sad to see. And you couldn't do this kind of social commentary. And the whole point of this social commentary is to show how backward people were and how idiotic people acted, and how shallow racism is, and how ridiculous it was. And they're making fun of people like that. But you couldn't really screen this movie today because people wouldn't be allowed to, there would be no safe space for them to watch this movie, unfortunately. So that's the tragedy of where we're headed as a culture and society, because you need to watch things like this and have an open mind. And if you disagree with it or think it's horrible, it's a movie. It's not gonna hurt you directly, right? But that's the whole point of something like this kind of social commentary. And that's why a lot of old books in the past were they did political satire. Gulliver's Travel was a satire that you'd get killed back then if you wrote something a diatribe against the ruling powers of the king or the queen. So that's why you did this kind of social commentary. So really important movie. That's why it's preserved by Congress today. Would it have been preserved? I hope so, but who the heck knows? But there's a lot of layers to this movie that you can unravel. So it's not just the farting bean scene. It's got a really great message. So sorry for my long diatribe, but I give it a 10. 10 for the movie. And Toxicity, it's 10 because of the people that are so crass in the movie, in terms of being the bigots and the racists, and then and also those crass crude scenes too, like the fart scene lives in infamy with the beans. So that's a classic. So just a really great movie. That picture's awesome. Who did that picture, Nick?
Magic Poop did. Thank you, Magic Poop, for this wonderful image, and thank you, Deba, for reminding me about showing this, because I was meaning to show up, but as obviously as running stream goes, you forget things, and you get lost in the midst of things. So I appreciate the reminder. Magic Poop, thank you for taking the time to make this. This is a freaking hilarious image. I do appreciate it. Red Shirt, final thoughts?
Yeah. Well, to go along with some comments from before, I would argue and try to make the case that this movie was a brave movie to release in 1974. Race relations were not very good. The late 60s were terrible.
Yeah, the Watts riots. I mean, people forget about that shit.
Yeah, Detroit, Watts riots. So, this was kind of a ballsy movie to make. It's part of the reason I think that Richard Pryor couldn't get the nod to play Bart, because he was just a little bit too on the edge of that comedic trend to say, hey, pay attention to black people because we matter. We're here. We're not going anywhere. But it did it so well that it didn't offend. Well, it did offend people. We heard that Mel Brooks got a lot of complaints about the use of the N-word, but mostly from white people, which is where it would have come from. That's where it was starting back then. What we see today was starting. Okay, it was prototype. It was just it was just a clump of cells compared to what it is today. But the bottom line is that yes, this was a brave movie to make. It was a beautifully crafted movie. He had a lot of people working on it with him. Richard Pryor was instrumental in making it noteworthy. I honestly believe that. I think Richard Pryor may not have played Sheriff Bart, but his role in writing for this movie.
Oh, I agree. He's instrumental in it. Yeah.
Yeah, he is one of the keys to this movie standing the test of time and being as effective as it is. Yeah. And so as far as it goes for toxicity, I would say, given some of the reaction to this movie when it came out versus today, I think this movie holds up as a 10 for toxicity. I think this movie's always bothered some people. And as far as greatness goes, this is one of my all-time favorite comedies. I can't give this less than a 10. This movie just cracks me up, no matter how many times I watch it.
That's a good point. It pissed off the right people back then too, I'm sure.
Yes.
For the right reasons.
Yeah.
Right. As opposed to like, that's the thing, and that's why I said this movie was woke before it was woke. Yeah. And like, I agree with you. Yeah, and I agree. Well, Mel Brooks was taking a huge fucking chance. Right. But imagine somebody doing this now, they would be canceled.
Well, you'd not only people have made the case, they've said you couldn't make this movie now, and I agree with them, you couldn't. But I also point out what's worse is that you can't show this movie now. You couldn't have an art theater show this movie. You can't.
Not without some context. You're probably right.
Yeah, you'd have to have trigger warnings. Yeah, you'd have to have what's her name, Whoopi Goldberg come out and give a lecture to the audience before they watch the movie.
Well, look what happened with Gone with the Wind. They pulled Gone with the Wind, and they put the disclaimer on it with with the controversy.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if this has a disclaimer on it on HBO Max as well.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
Oh,
but I remember getting the second volume of Warner Brothers cartoons, and they had to put Whoopi Goldberg in at the beginning, and you couldn't fast forward through her.
Yeah, so which at the time I didn't mind, but because she was making a decent point. What I don't like is these fucking labels ahead of shit.
Right.
Like her just contextualizing the argument is a little different than putting like a label on something. Because once you put a label on something, the next step is saying, well, people who like these things are bad too.
Yep.
So we need to make that contraband now.
Yep.
Right.
And then they actually are coming for the shit.
And they are.
And people say that I may be a little, conspiratorial or hyperbolic saying that shit, but it's not. We're not that far removed from that shit, guys. They used to burn books and records over stupid shit like this.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even 50 years ago.
Yeah, the Beatles with John Lennon said they were more popular than Jesus.
They were Jesus,
and they were just joking. Yeah, they all burned all the Beatles records and wanted to kill them. And
actually, he probably wasn't even fucking wrong, and that's the thing that pissed off more people too.
John wasn't wrong when he said that. He was trying to make a point about the fact that in Britain, particularly, the church wasn't doing so well, and rightly, more kids were into the Beatles than they were into Christianity. He wasn't trying to knock it.
Yeah,
he made a very truthful statement about.
I had a similar argument in the chat the other day where I brought up more people alive today. Notice what I just said: alive today have read Lord of the Rings than have read the Bible. And I had a bunch of fucking people get pissy with me for saying it's like, look, no. First of all, this is the thing, and as a Christian myself, it's the toughest thing for Christians to remember that we are not the largest and only religion out there, right? So like that's
not what they told me in Catholic school.
I know, right? Like
it's not knocking something to say something.
No,
like
it's just the fucking truth, right? I mean, it's just the way it is, because you got to remember, not just Catholics read Lord of the Rings.
Right. That's right, yeah. It was required reading, though.
In Catholic Church, we were actually asked to read the other book by
the Lion or the
Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
The Narnia ones, because what's his face was actually a
Aslan
Christian
Jesus,
scholar or whatever. Yeah.
Aslan,
so in the Catholic Church, they always promote us reading that, but then because of that, we turned right around and read Tolkien.
Well, Tolkien had some Christian inspiration too.
We were best friends.
Yeah.
But I want to point something else out, because like we were talking about Richard Pryor earlier. We didn't see Richard Pryor really start becoming part of the zeitgeist, because he was known for his racy comedy. But it was his appearance on Saturday Night Live that brought him to American television. That's the one that really did it. And then right after that, in 1977, when he appeared on Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we saw this big shift towards him being more popular. in the public rather than edgy.
Well,
what do they do with the name of his second album? Do they still sell that, or?
I think they bleep it out, but you can still get it.
Yeah, because that's the name of his second album. Is that bleep crazy?
Yeah, I don't know if they can get a cover with it anymore without it having a sticker or something on it, maybe. But
no, but just think of it. That's Richard Pryor putting that album out.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know. So
No,
just,
but we were right
just how
earlier.
things have changed, and not condoning obviously the use of the word, but just in terms of how people react to things that they think how they can be, they can't be confronted with something, and they're just trying to. And Richard Pryor there is trying to show how hey, screw you, I'm not going to take this shit, and then throwing it back at people's face. So, but.
And with that, I think I got all your scores. I think I didn't miss anyone on here, right?
Oh no, you didn't.
Okay,
You got
and now here's the
How
blazer.
about you? Did you do yourself?
I will do myself next.
Are you going to do
Barr,
yourself?
You do every night.
Oh my
Hold
God,
on.
I can hardly wait to watch
Let me
this.
do this, and now I'll do myself after. Brian Barr, 10 out of 10. Ted Milk, 10. Philip A. Demick, 10 out of 10. Pop Culture Public, 10 out of 10. Great all the way around. Keely Chow, overall 10. Toxicity, 10. Radioactive, 11. Overall, 9 out of 10. Toxicity, 8.7. Vince Womack, Sean Esep, Toxicity, 10. Greatness, 11. Sorry, I'm just removing
Yeah,
stars.
there's another Nigel joke.
And then Rob Altus, Toxicity 10, Tax X overall 9.5, Human Waffles, Max Toxicity, Max Hilarity, D-Bud, Toxicity overall, I think that's the symbol again, overall 15 out of 10s, Schnitzengrubers, Channel Surf, Easy 10 out of 10 with a bullet, thanks Nick Weiser, Mass Grave, best comedy I've ever made, 10 out of 10, both ratings and Toxicity, Becca J, Toxicity levels at 10 out of 10, Lovely Sherry, 11 out of 10, Rob Altus, 10 for diversity, too. Yeah, genuine diversity. Gareth Morgan, 10 out of 10 for Toxicity, 10 out of 10 for greatness, 10 out of 10 for Mel's courage to get it done. Mel, 10 out of 10 for casting, 10 out of 10 for cinematography, 100 out of 10 for its place in comedy cinema history. Well said, Gareth. That was freaking awesome. Yeah. Nelson, the gentleman, Mongo gives this 11 for score and 40 for toxicity. He shows the 22-year-old blue hair land whales, her head explodes. And then RC from the NYC says toxicity, a perfect 10. Overall 10, a classic comedy that has aged very well, regardless of what the haters said. Thank you, RC. Awesome comment. Appreciate that. Peter Venkman Fansite, 10 toxicity, 10 wrestlerity, 10 Jewish Native Americans, 10s overall. And the great Brian Yoder coming in hot with a direct donation for $25 from the great Brian Yoder. Says, YouTube sucks. I watched from the start later. I want Mel Brooks and John Cleese to say Shaka Zulu starring Simon Pegg just to see the modern industry's heads explodes. Well, Brian, thank you for $25. And yes, I would love to see that as well. Appreciate the direct donation.
That's two of those Costco pizzas right there.
Yeah, right. No, you guys seriously awesome with the super chats and direct donations. Thank you very, very much. And of course, shout out to this guy here, Mark D with a C, for keeping the visuals going. Guys, seriously,
thank you.
Let's give it to him. He seriously,
that was a lot of fun. Yep.
Yeah.
So we got to play this.
All of it.
We got to play this one more time then.
God.
All right.
I love the guys cracking up while he's in the film. Yeah,
cracking up and
you see the guy laughing for real. Yeah.
All right. So before I let these gentlemen plug in our channels, we'll do our movies announcement. We're gonna do 2 again. So yeah, I give this movie probably around a 9.5 for comedy greatness. It's a freaking fantastic movie. Absolutely stellar dialogue, great performances, not just from the main characters, but from the supporting cast members. I feel like the supporting cast members are also unsung heroes, in my opinion. So that's something I'm going to stand by. And everything is just so chaotic. It's super fun to watch too, despite the serious nature of everything that's happening It's super fun to watch. And yeah, and once again, age has done this movie many favors beautifully. And I think it's definitely something along young is, if you want to get them a gateway who want to get to something, I guess you could say of a tougher subject and they're willing to learn, this is a good way to go. Because comedy is a thing that takes people with different ideological perspectives. And I know in our chat and on the panel, we have literally many of them, but we come all here together, all 50 plus of you in the chat still here. Thank you for still being here. We're all brought together by comedy, whether it's political, religious, or whatever. We're all brought together here to laugh and share something that binds us together, and we enjoy it. We love it, and that's why we do shows like Toxic Tuesday. Sorry, I've been up for a long time, so my English is getting all fucked. But you get the point. It's been fun to do this show, and this has definitely been a very fun episode to do. So I appreciate you guys hanging around. And before we plug in the channels, I said last week, but I'm going to do a reminder. Next week, we're doing Michael Douglas's Black Rain for Toxic Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be huge. And then the week after that, we're going to do Midnight Run as well. So we're going back to the roots of Toxic Tuesday, and we're doing action again. So you're going to see a lot of action, and it's going to be fun. So, yeah, Black Rain, Midnight Run. It's going to be a great back-to-back week. So thank you guys for supporting this show. I'm going to let these gentlemen plug in their channels, and I'll start in with Dustin.
All right, guys. So now I've got YouTube channel, Keto Simple. I've been plugging away, trying to get more content out. Been playing around with the new shorts, stuff that they've got going on, utilizing shorts to promote long-form content. So, yeah. So if you're into the keto cooking, I've been trying to incorporate more normal people recipes that are keto, but don't necessarily seem that way into my videos as well. So you might be interested in that.
Ooh, well, thank you, Mark, for plugging in Dustin's channel, guys. This is Dustin's channel right here. Go sub to him. He did get monetized recently, and congratulations!
Congrats, yeah.
On that, Dustin. You more than put in the work for that. So to say you earn that's the least, man. Congratulations on your success. I can't wait to see you hit 10K in a few years. You're gonna do it, dude, and it's gonna be huge. I can't wait. All right, Dustin.
Weird, man. Yeah.
Thank you for being here, sir. You were missed on here, and I can't wait to do more of this again. And hopefully, maybe we'll actually be able to be at a same show again soon. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
I'm hoping.
God, we're overdue. 70s.
Hey, I'd like to just thank the chat tonight for being absolutely magnificent, phenomenal chat. 73 likes. It's unbelievable. It's fantastic. That was a lot of fun. Thanks, Nick. Yeah, well, my channel, That 70s Rock Fan, is doing quite well. Nick, as you know, we had a great stream yesterday.
Yes, sir.
On Californian metal. We had a lot of great chat, showed some videos. I got away without being copyright struck, so that was good.
I was worried because the video disappeared for a while. I could
one little clip. It was Bill Bailey. I had to trim, and the rest were great. So
I got
all the
worried
music
for a
was
second.
fine. Yeah, but Gary was on, and I heard back from Gary that he really enjoyed it and thought it was very cool. So that was nice.
Nice.
Other Gary.
Yes. So not Gary. You Gary. You were
Hair with the glasses.
You're Gerry.
The other white meat.
The real Gary, the other white meat, yeah. So I'll probably get a new video out tomorrow, another one of my science fiction book videos, which at least 3 people will be excited to watch. And I'm working on a couple of movie-related videos as well. And our next live show in 2 weeks will be about a movie. And there's a poll up in my community page to vote for that movie. So
you heard him, guys. Vote. And I showed earlier, guys, Dustin's channel, Keto Simple, and of course that 70s Rock Fan with his channel. Here's Dustin's channel. Mark, thank you for plugging in the channels.
And I'll be on Midnight Sage After Dark and stuff like that. So cheers, y'all.
Gerry.
Worst director's cut ever. Oh my
Yeah,
god,
I
I
blame
still
new
look
one.
like him. I look like him. Jesus.
What a coincidence, though,
one.
Brian. I'm going to be on Midnight's Edge After Dark too.
I know,
What?
isn't that weird?
I
Who would have
never
thought
get
that?
invited.
Who would have
Anyway,
think?
You never
thanks for
show up
having-
in the fucking chat.
Who, me or Gary?
Gary with a J.
All right, all right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Perhaps one of his personalities does. He's got many.
I've got so many. I'll pop in as Cohen's ghost every once in a while. People are like, "Who the fuck?"
If you
is
show
this
up in
guy?
the chat, I'll probably send you the link. That's the usual way I am, as long as we're not like too full up. But like, otherwise, you know, I hit
I'm
you
only
up when
teasing you, dude. I fucking like.
we got
hanging
something
out with you
specific
whenever.
to talk about.
But I don't want to do it too often because you kind of wear on my nerves. But I'm serious. I told people, man,
There's
like when
that,
I'm on with
too.
Tom, I tend to shut the fuck up because he's funnier than me. And it's a fact, you are funnier than me.
I'm not gonna argue.
No, dude, fuck. You know what? You could resist a little, just a little.
You're funnier looking
That's
than
what she
me,
said.
maybe. I guess. There you go.
I love this movie so much, and I'm glad I got to be on here again tonight, guys. I'm so glad to be here. I love seeing you guys, and I also love seeing a lot of my friends that are in the chat. Like I did see Peter Vickman fan site, and everybody that said hello, hi. I don't want to interrupt, so I don't get to say hi to all you people. But I'll see some of you fuckers in the morning. So, yeah, fuck you, Polly. I love you, buddy. Yes, I know you want to punch me in the face. And of course, Latino Polly is the one who started that shit with the back door. But you can find us over on Pop Culture Minefield. Monday through Friday, I do my morning show where I don't know what I'm going to do. Tomorrow's our UFO day. I don't know if Don Ecker's going to be able to make it. He's been busy. So I just might be talking about some of the latest videos. And then Friday, TGIF. Saturday is Saturday morning fun time. Yes, please let me punch him. But it's been crazy since the move, and but everything's going pretty well. And I have my fake background. I like that. It looks like my old background. And Mark, once again, worst fucking director's cut ever, but I love you, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, Gerry, it's been real. Glad to have you back on here on Toxic Tuesday. I cannot wait to dish it out on freaking Midnight Run and freaking Black Rain. Dude.
Oh, hell yeah.
Be fun. You were missed, man. Just like Dustin, you were missed. So.
And I want to point out, it was really nice seeing Kyle tonight. It's like I used to hang out with him all the time, and it's fun hanging out with him. I fucking love Kyle. Zaxx.
I love you too, Gary.
Fuck you. I mean, I love you, buddy.
All right, the man who keeps the visuals going, guys. There's still most of you in the chat. If you somehow have not subscribed to Mark D with a C, please give him a sub. He puts in so much effort between me and Clobber times his channels. He keeps a lot of our shows looking visually good, and that's because of this man right here. So
Appreciate
I'm
it.
going to make
Thank
sure
you.
he's the sung hero. So
I'd
Mark,
like to hear that. Yep. Thank you. Yep.
plug
Here's my
channel
link in there. Yep. So I do a lot of
Oh shit! You put a porn link.
Thank you. Yeah. You don't want. I was gonna say something, but I won't. That could get dangerous. But anyway, so I have a lot of toys on my channel, toy reviews. Like Sunday Night Geekery is my show. So here we were just showing this new penguin duck that I just picked up. A lot of toys and 3D printing. So Nick Wise has to get that one. Of course, I got Hulkamania is running wild. So I just grabbed this figure, and of course I got the last Catwoman at Target when I was there.
Oh my god!
Yeah, so I was super happy to get this, and my kids and my wife's like, "Why are you so happy?" I'm like, "Oh, this was such a successful trip to Target because I've been waiting to get this." I mean, you can get it online, I guess, but just it's great when you go to the store and you grab this. So yeah, Batman 66. So, but yeah, so check out my channel, sub to all my buddies here. It's always a lot of fun on Toxic Tuesday. And hey, Courtney's in the chat. Hey, Courtney, we got to get Courtney. We haven't had a lady on in a while, so her Twitter handle is Lady Toxic, so we should get her on Toxic Tuesday.
I'd be down to get Courtney on,
right, Courtney? Right, so we should get you on for one of these upcoming shows. But yeah, I just love hanging out with you guys on Tuesday night. You know, it is a little bit of work to do those videos, but it's or the horrible director's cut, but it's a lot of fun, and I hope you guys. Yeah, I know everyone appreciates. So thank you for that, and yeah, I think it helps us, talk about the movie and have fun with it. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. So glad everyone's enjoying it. Yeah, we had a rocking crowd tonight. So a lot of fun, and make sure everyone subs. And I always mention too, if you sub to anyone, watch like 2 or 3 minutes of a video so YouTube doesn't take that sub away. So sometimes those disappear. Oh, is that we got Yoda in the chat down there? Or is that baby Yoda?
Gerry,
Yep.
it's Gerry's baby.
Yeah, he's got a baby. Yep. So yeah, thanks everyone. Yeah, there. Put your and everyone go watch She-Hulk tonight, right? At 3 a.m. Yeah, go enjoy She-Hulk. Yeah.
All right, Mark.
And that might put you to sleep if you're stuck up late at night. So yeah.
This is true. He makes a great valid point. Mark, it's been fun. As always, you kicked ass as usual. The visuals. Thank you for this work. It's awesome. And I will see you soon, sir, as always. And we're gonna get you to 500. It's gonna be huge. All right.
I want that community tab. Yeah.
Yeah, let's get Mark his community tab, guys. When he hits 500, he gets a community tab. So I will see you soon, sir, as always.
Yep. Thank you, Nick.
All right, Red Shirt. I know you don't really got a channel, but you say whatever you want. Where we can find you.
You can find me on Twitter as J_A_Redshirt, and I have a channel on YouTube with absolutely nothing but links to all of my favorite channels on it. I will not be on Midnight's Edge After Dark this week, but I will be on the MF for Cocktail Lounge on the Foulball Productions channel on Friday evening. So come on over there, hang out with us, and see what kind of disaster occurs, because it usually does.
All right, you heard the man, guys. Justin the Red Shirt's his channel. Of course, sub to Matt from Foulball Productions. He's one of my good friends within this whole sphere, and hopefully a guy will be hanging out with soon. And Red Shirt, you have a great night, week, weekend. Thank you for coming back as always, too. I will see you soon, my friend. And then the man with 800 channels and is on 800 shows, and then somehow never sleeps and somehow still gets a few videos out a week. I don't know how he does it.
I don't either. And Red Shirt, you could come on, Mead.
Ooh.
What, did I just hear what I thought I heard?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, I was paying attention, I swear.
Mad's the only one I give shit about it with. And that's just because he's like desperately always like asking, I like lead him on and let
and then
him
you
down.
say no.
Lead him on, let him down.
I love how gay this is sounding. Please go on.
Yeah, I'm playing hard to
it's
get.
really getting good and gay. I'm liking this.
No, I've let him on a few times, but
I'm sure you have.
Mark, you can always come on too, and
yeah, I'd love to. Yep,
Brutal and all you guys.
Well, Mark,
except Gary.
Except
no,
Gary.
not you, Gary.
Nobody likes Jerry.
Anybody but Gary.
Ooh.
Nobody likes the dry white meat.
Courtney's got a point, guys.
Ooh.
Goddamn yeah.
We'll talk, Courtney. We'll talk.
This one's for fighting and this one's for fun.
It's been fun. Always appreciate the added insight, knowledge, and of course the comedy you bring to the show. And glad to be partners with you on the Mead crew. Great crew to be a part of, and also for taking the time, because I know you're like what 3 weeks always catching up on shit. So thank you.
2 years behind, man.
2 years behind.
3 maybe by this point, actually.
Well, it doesn't go unnoticed, and I will always continue thanking you for it.
Tell me about it. No, I may not be able to make the next couple because the next few films I don't know if I got much to add to, but we'll see when I come back here. You'll have to let me know what the next few movies are besides them, but yeah, you know where to find me. If not, you can find me at Midnight's Edge After Dark, Mead Radio, hanging around with a bunch of hooligans like these. I pop it up on a bunch of other shows from time to time, but sometimes I need sleep. And That gets in the way. So does watching things.
So does absolutely watching things does. Well, Tom, it's appreciated, and the chat and the panel do recognize it. So we're grateful for your service, sir. Thank you.
I appreciate it, and of course, I could not
Blazing
Saddles. Up
so.
there, Zaxx.
Oh, of course, of course.
Hydrating, Jerry.
Sure, you're hydrating. Okay,
gotta stay hydrated.
It was fun having you on. If you ever want to come back on, the door is open. Obviously, if something seems appealing, like, hey, that looks like a movie I want to talk about, you can just DM me. That's how this crew goes. There's an open spot if you ever want to come back. So I appreciate you taking the time, and I'm so happy to see the amazingly badass success you've had with your channel. I can't wait to see your numbers go even more huge.
Well, thank you for having me here, Nick. This has been awesome. I'd love to come back, and as long as it's not through the back door, because I've learned from Gerry that's not the way you want to start something.
I swear to God, I will fucking kill you. No,
yeah.
I love you, buddy.
But this has been awesome. It's kind of surreal to be on a show that you would normally watch with people you would normally watch. Seriously, this is awesome. I mean, Gary's here too, but Tom is here.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
right, how many times in one video can you fucking shit on me?
So people are here, and Gary is what you're saying.
People are here. Yes, and Gerry.
And Gary.
Gerry, he's Keith's sidekick.
And by the way, that video is blocked. You can't fucking share it anymore.
That
bitch.
Sucks. Why would you do that?
What
that was
video?
Your best work.
What of me eating chips?
How is that blocked?
By the fistful. I was just jamming them in my mouth.
How did that get blocked? Or by yourself? Obviously,
Yeah, I
not by
blocked it.
YouTube.
I didn't want anybody.
Oh,
to
you are
see
such a
it.
pussy. That was
All right,
hilarious.
I'll fucking put it back up. Fuck you. I'll
That's
put
right.
it back up.
I should have downloaded that thing.
He's coming
No,
back
I'm gonna
up now.
I'm gonna go do it right now while we're talking. Fuck
Because
you,
I called him a
Tom.
pussy.
Look, I love you.
I love you too, Gerry.
What you got
I was
coming out?
talking to Tom, but I love you too.
Oh, so I got I do a live stream every Thursday, 8:15, and Nick's been there, so it's been awesome. This week we're doing trying to do a new thing. The last few weeks where I bring on a new or smaller channel that's doing the work. Last week we had Abomination AJ, who's doing some great stuff. And
Nice.
yeah, he's great. And then this week we're doing the White Cloaks, who are a group of guys that were kicked off and banned from Reddit because they didn't like with the Wheel of Time TV show, which is unreal.
Wow.
But they're doing YouTube now, and they're going to come on, and we're doing the semis and finals of the Ultimate Arnold tournament, and it's a chat vote. It's Arnold character versus Arnold character, and we've got John Matrix versus Conan this week, and then
nice,
and then and then Dutch versus the T800, and then the finals. Yeah, so it's been a fun few weeks, and put a new video earlier today about getting ready to take on the criticisms from people with Rings of Power.
Ooh,
okay,
yeah,
throw
that's
your
a good one.
Throw your channel into the private chat, and we'll make sure we put in the.
All right. And if you want to find me, you can search Zaxx7 on YouTube, and you'll find me. I also show up on Gary's shows when he lets me.
Yeah, I got to tell you something. Best thing to come from Pop Culture Minefield is this guy.
Wow. Thanks,
You
Gerry.
really are. I fucking love you, dude.
I wouldn't do this
love
without
your videos.
So what
Gerry
you're
got
saying,
me
he's
doing
all
this,
that
so.
and a bag of chips?
Fuck yeah. But, I told him, it's like, he says, well, I'm thinking about doing this. I'm thinking about doing that. And I'm like, yeah, stretch those wings, fly the nest. And then he fucking left me. And I'm like, I didn't want you to leave.
Gerry, I
fucking
never
awesome.
left. I was always there.
You're so fucking awesome, dude. I fucking love you, Kyle.
Thanks, Gerry. Thanks, Gerry.
He's always with you on the inside.
Right.
Deep inside.
Right at the
Guys,
back door.
Right here, Zaxx
Yeah,
channel.
right there, sub there. Yes.
That's his channel. Fuck on it. Thank you, Eric.
Thanks for having me, Nick.
My pleasure, Zaxx. Like I said, the door's open, man. So you just yell at me,
Back
and
door.
we'll work something out.
Always the back
Door's
door.
open.
Anyways, once again, thank you to all the super chatters, the direct donations, and the amounts of comments you guys were flying through tonight. There's a lot of you stuck around too. Thank you, whether it's for a portion or most of it or all of it. Thank you for coming here and hanging out with us for this edition of Toxic Tuesday. Once again, Black Rain next week. The week after that, Midnight Run. This is going to be badass back-to-back action movie festival. We're going back to the roots of Toxic Tuesday. It's going to be great. So that's a Toxic Tuesday. Of course, this Friday night is a Comic Shop Talk, as well as just a general open comic shop show. You can find me at Midnight's Edge After Dark with Tom, 70s usual on there, Klobby, Six, Script, Mike, Mexican Iron Man. And of course, I yell park cars with the Dix Division, Comics Division on Monday nights. I will also have a video out Thursday morning on Life Without a Cell Phone, which is a great life, just to tell you about what that was like. And then, because soon that's going to be past tense. And then I'm going to have a video on the new Megadeth album, The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead. So I'll have my very honest thoughts on that real soon. And yeah, once again, thank you for supporting the show. I'll see you all on the stream or in the chat. Seriously, thank you all for being here. I appreciate
Sick, the
this.
Dying, and the Dead. Did you say that was called?
Yep.
Isn't that Gary's sex life?
Okay, it's official. Everybody but Red Shirt and Keto have shit on me on this show. Okay. Come on, guys. Go ahead. Shit on me. I'm down here.
Could have been more fun, Gary.
Can't we be friends?
You do it from a place of love.
Anyways, guys.
Go put on your tight shorts and we'll go run on the beach.
Chad, I think you won best chat on YouTube tonight.
Straight up, you guys killed it tonight with the comments, and like it was great to see the knowledge on the panel and in the chat. Everyone just was inside and out. If someone didn't know something, someone else knew it. It was absolutely freaking awesome.
You said inside and out.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
That's what she said.
Guys, this is also my Gilded. Thank you, RK. Join me on Gilded, like Discord. Without all the draconian BS of big
Fuck you, Gilded!
It's fun there. It's great and it's huge. So come join me on Gilded. It's fun. Anyways, I'll shut up now because you've all been here for 2 hours and 45 minutes and you stuck around. That's crazy.
Wow, we talked about Blazing Saddles for that long.
Well, we also got a super sticker from Salty Texas.
Unicorn.
And it's a unicorn for
Salty.
29. Thank you,
What
Salty
in the
Texas.
wide world of sports?
Thank you for that, Salty Texas. All right, guys, this is it. We'll see you soon. This is goodbye. Good fight. Good night, everybody.
Be singing.
It's time to go.